Hello and welcome back to the Reid podcast. Today's episode is with Alex Reid. Alex is an actor. He is a former professional MMA fighter. He was around for really a lot of the early days of UK MMA. He has reached a high level of fame through doing things such as winning Celebrity Big Brother and then just kind of knocking about the newspapers for many years after that. I've known Alex for a long time. He occasionally comes to train with me. He's a very, very interesting guy. I think he's very misunderstood as well. So I've been looking forward to getting him on the podcast and being able to sit down and chat to him. We had a really cool conversation. We went off on a load of tangents and spoke about stuff that I didn't expect us to be speaking about, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I hope you guys enjoy listening. Check it out. Okay.
Are we on yet?
Now we're live.
I'm just looking for your Twitter, your Instagram. Raspberry White.
Yeah.
Where am I? What are we doing here? Who are you?
I'm Daniel Strauss. This is the Reid podcast.
Daniel
Who are you?
Strauss. I'm Alex Reid. Alexander. When I'm feeling posh, I'm Alexander Reid. And this is, guys, I'm going to show you, for my guys, and I apologise for the people who've probably listened, viewed. How does it work?
Yeah, some listen, some view.
This is Daniel Strauss. Can you see? Yeah. But he's a jiu-jitsu kid. This is all of my guys. And he's done a thing or two in this sport.
This is for the Sun readers, right?
Oh, my God. Do you know what? That's interesting you say that.
Yeah, go on.
Because people do
we
have
get straight into it.
Misconception about the whole media thing.
Yeah.
I actually detest celebrity.
Really?
I want to be celebrated for having accomplished something. That's why I went to acting school to train really, and that's scary. I mean, much like you know me from my fighting and my martial arts, which is our affinity. For people who don't know, what's your martial arts background?
I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
But you've been doing it.
I've been doing it for a little while now.
And look at your body. You're pretty fit, dude. Now, you train diligently hard to compete. Are you a competitor?
Yeah, I do. I try to.
So, same thing with acting. Yeah. You train really hard. Yeah. And then, same thing with my martial arts. I train bloody hard. Yeah. And I love the clap of a crowd, the cheer of an audience. Yeah. And when you're on a play and people are laughing or smiling or happy, fantastic. There's no better feeling. It's ecstatic. And that I'm happy to be celebrated for. Yeah. But do you know what? I swallowed that celebrity pill. And I was addicted to not the crack pipe, to the fame pipe. Yeah. And you get that. You can get that I got that from sports. I've got that adulation. That's fabulous. Tell me yourself. Yeah. When you're competing, do you like to feel if people are watching and cheering?
Absolutely. Well, I think when it comes to competition, with something where it isn't predetermined, so like in any sport where you can win or you can lose, the number of people that are watching you and the prestige of the tournament it's an amplifier.
But even if people aren't watching you, the fact that you've got that and that makes you feel good about yourself, and it gives you integrity, credibility, and a sense of self-worth. And you've gone on. You're a fabulous teacher.
Thank you.
Bloody good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
For guys who don't know, he's a badass jiu-jitsu dude, and I'm sure everyone. This is for my guys. Yeah. So, if you hadn't done all those arduous hours of training, in the gym when no one's watching, only maybe a few other guys you're training with. There's not an audience then. And that, to me, is still building up your self-worth and making you feel good about yourself. Yeah. Some of the hardest fights I've had been in the gym. Yeah. And didn't get paid for that.
Yeah, that's the bit that no one sees.
Yeah. Yeah. And so people say, it's it was the Mexican who's just won.
Yes.
He's still, people are taking the mickey because he's a big boy. And do you know what? Sorry, I'm going to give up training. I'm going to go and open a pie shop. But all jokes aside, I mean, he's a journeyman. They work bloody hard.
Absolutely. Have you seen the videos of him training?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, he's a savage. He's legit. Yeah.
So he was ranked number 14. Yeah. And I'm going to go straight to my fighting history. Yeah. I was kind of underrated, and I got offered fights I probably shouldn't have taken right in my early career, and I did really well. And all of a sudden, I jumped straight up. But then you have to hang with the big boys, and it can be a little bit. Oh, hang on. So I did it in reverse. I didn't really work my way up, although I had hundreds of amateur competitions.
Yeah. So one thing that people
don't realize is that your kickboxing career before you got into MMA was massive, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah, 200 fights.
200 kickboxing matches.
So when I say 200, there's different levels of kickboxing.
Yeah.
And
200 still 200 though. That's a lot of matches.
But I wouldn't call them fights.
Okay.
Competitions.
Okay.
I mean, fighting's in a war.
Sure.
Two concentric dots playing a contest, and a lot of it is tag, you're it.
Yeah.
What's that? Point fighting.
Yeah. You did point fighting?
I did. I must have 100 of those.
Yeah.
About 50 then light continuous. Because you step up. And point fighting is very skillful. I mean, look at Michael Venom Page.
Yes.
Look at there's many fighters like it, Prince Nassim Muhammad, even Muhammad Ali. I mean, it's kind of Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
When he touched Forrest Griffin.
Yeah.
And it was like something from the Matrix, and it just fell over.
Yeah.
You just get the right pressure point, the right time. Anyway, when I was doing that, I thought I could take on a gang of bikers. I was told by Kevin Bruton, the Jedi, who was back then, when I was about 15, that's when I first got into martial arts properly. I saw the pictures of him in these magazines, and he happened to be, I thought he looked really cool, and really, it was like a black Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so a really good positive role model.
Yeah.
And I was brainwashed to thinking that when I had my green sash, I don't know, it's about halfway through to black belt,
sure, that
I could take on a gang of bikers. And then thinking, as you're getting a bit older, it didn't really work out like that. So I switched from, I went to boxing classes. I went to 10 boxing shows and only got one match.
Really?
And the adrenaline and build up.
Yeah.
And then, only getting one match is horrendous. So I
so wait, you go to the show and then
we couldn't get a match.
They pull out, or
they pulled out. Yeah.
So were you trying to get the match? Do you not have the match booked beforehand, or is it you go there and you get matched up on the day?
Amateur boxing, I didn't. It was like just
you show up,
really? Basically. So
no.
And then at the same time, I was doing something called light continuous, which is not quite full contact. Which actually you get more hurt doing light continuous, because if someone hits you really hard, to hit them hard back. But if you've got to hit hard and light continuous and hit them hard back, you get penalised.
Yeah.
Warning. Hang on. So it's really tricky. You're not supposed to hit too hard.
You have to take a lot of little bits of damage.
I got more hurt doing light continuous than doing full contact.
Really?
So I was doing light continuous when I started doing boxing, because I thought I'm not a real man doing point fighting. Isn't it funny that my whole sense of being a man was about being a fighter? But we'll talk about more about that later. Now I've totally changed.
Sure.
But in my early adulthood, I grew up on, Luke Skywalker.
Sure.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
He-Man.
Yeah.
Well, He-Man isn't probably a really good example.
I see what you're saying though, yeah.
He wears Ugg boots. He walks around in his pants.
That sounds about right.
A bondage outfit. And he goes slays people with his sword.
Yeah.
I guess when he's not He-Man, he's Prince Adam.
Yeah.
This was my role model. What chance did I have? You're a bit of a He-Man.
So
He-Man.
It was all based around
being a tough guy.
Yeah.
And I digress. So I then moved to full contact, and then I could turn up on a weekend and fight 4 or 5 times.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. And that was amateur. And I say amateurs was the level we were at. It was when I fought in the World Amateur Wacko Championships, which was the creme de la creme of kickboxing back in the day. Who was in the heavyweight? I fought in Gdansk, Poland in '98. I got selected to be the British representative after having so many fights in kickboxing, and I built my way up. I've skipped so much here because there's so much to talk about. Who was the heavyweight for Russia? Do you know who the heavyweight was?
Go on.
Klitschko.
Really?
That's the level. Professional he's only just the ex-boxer. Yeah. That's the level of the guys who were fighting. He
was fighting for the Russians at the same time you were fighting for.
So
really?
I was paying for all this myself, but the Eastern Bloc countries are all funded by the state.
Yeah,
I'm like, what chance do we have?
No, none.
I mean, we were good. And my mate Gary Turner, who's an Argentine martial artist, he actually won it. And to this day, in all the fights we've had, I think that was the hardest, because you're fighting over 4 or 5 days every day. And you're getting bashed. So it's about, it's all very well being tough for one day, but having to be tough again and again and again.
So you were pretty into your kickboxing or your martial arts at that point, right?
I was an insecure kid. Got bullied at school for asking the questions. We're going to get a bit heavy now. When I was 5 years old, I'd look up at the stars and think, why? How? Why is there a sun? Why do you have to die? Asking quite deep, heavy questions. Didn't know what spirituality was. And I didn't particularly believe in any religion, although we were a Christian family. Mum wasn't. I was christened. We went to church on weddings and funerals. That's about it. I asked all these questions. I was a kid at school that got laughed at. And to protect myself, because I'm the youngest of 6 from a very articulate, cultured family. Lots of books, lots of art, but powerful. My dad, I didn't know, when I was about 14, I was playing in the loft. I used to play with, what was it? Not Action Man, they were called G.I. Joe, Action Force. Loved all the little soldiers. And I saw these pictures of my dad in a uniform. Hang on. Dad, why are you wearing a uniform? Because you never talked about, I was a soldier. Oh, really? It was a paratrooper who fought in a war in Ioka, in Cyprus, against the Ioka terrorists. He was the army boxing champion.
Wow. You never knew any of
What
it?
the fuck?
Yeah.
Forget Luke Skywalker. My dad's a real hero. And that was like, I want to be a soldier. You want to be like your dad. Because he was also kind, artistic. He was a hippie.
Yeah.
Long hair, so much art, so much culture around the house.
Yeah.
I grew up with statues, and he's built a statue of Icarus in the garden.
Really?
So Alexander Aristides, he named me Aristides, which is very conceited, because Aristides means son of the best.
Yeah.
An Athenian strategian who defeated the Spartans. So that's what I've got to live up to in Alexander the Great. But we won't name who my other alter ego is.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that later.
So I grew up on all this.
Did you feel pressure, like after at what age were you when you found?
No pressure. The only pressure I got was because I had such culture and love. I was free to be what I wanted and to express myself. Unfortunately, obviously, I think that happens when you've got such strong parents.
Yeah.
You can be who you see a sense of fairness. But I remember going to school once and other boys being racist about a black kid, and I went, I said the N-word and stuff, and I came home and Dad, what? He went mad. What? Not crazy, like aggressive, but he was like, why, son? Why? What's that boy have done? Stamped out racism straight away without being aggressive and nasty, and it actually made me question. You're absolutely right. I could have so easily followed the pack. And that when you don't follow the pack, I understand, because I've been so persecuted and denigrated by the media, by society, because I've asked those questions. With that, people say stupid. I don't mean to be disrespectful to a guy called Joey Essex.
Yeah.
But you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He comes across very stupid. I don't know if he really is.
That's his hook.
But it kind of works.
Yeah.
There is a time to play stupid.
Yeah.
Because I understand strategically how that works. But there's also, when you ask questions in an innocent way, with love and compassion, you can come across as vulnerable, and people think you're stupid. Well, no. The thing I've always seen, I've been shit on so many times by women, by friends, and I see the goodness in people, and I want to see the love. But I've learned with my martial arts as well, which is a great metaphor, you can't always be soft. Sometimes you've got to be strong.
Yeah.
Listen, my heroes today, I grew up on people, Alexander the Great, my namesake.
Yeah.
He was he was studied under Aristotle. He actually wanted peace, but he did it in a very bloody way.
Yeah.
And I've changed from Alexander the Great to Jesus and Gandhi. How did Gandhi beat the British Empire?
Yeah. With peace.
With peace and love.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I would like to be Jesus. I've got my big cloak, turn the other cheek. But when the other cheek comes, I've got a big stick underneath my cloak. I've got a big stick underneath my cloak. So I haven't quite got there yet.
So you're talking when you're young, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and you've grown up in a house full of compassion, full of love.
Yeah,
like, a little bit on the outside of society, outside of the
bullied,
box.
and I got bullied.
And did that sort of, because obviously at some point you go, actually I want to fight.
Yeah, I mean,
that seems like a big change in your mentality.
It wasn't so much fight. I mean, I grew up on, my heroes were like Sinbad the Sailor, King Arthur, and Frodo, Merlin, all these sort of... so people were swashbuckling. So I like that. There's something inside me that naturally was drawn to that. So, of course, if you're getting beaten up and bullied, you're going to turn to... Oh, well, of course, I've missed out 2 big ones. Rocky and Bruce.
Yeah.
Whoa! Yeah. I mean, of course, they're the bad boys. You want to be like those guys.
Sure.
And what it was, it's not about just being tough. It's about training, using science, passion, secret knowledge, something mystic about it. You know, how can you take people out without having to hurt them? You know,
yeah.
And the ultimate thing is to have the Jedi. What was it?
The Force.
The Force.
Yeah.
But we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
So you had this as you were going through your teens and stuff. You were really in, by the sounds of it, for you to get picked for a national team to go and compete in kickboxing. You were really into the martial arts stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wasn't the best at sport at school. I was competitive. I was the run to the litter. My brother who was the captain of the football team, got all the girls. Really clever. Got a scholarship to go to top universities. I was like, hang on a minute. I was kind of looked down, but the one thing I had over him was, because he always used to beat me up, although he loved me, was competitiveness. Toughness, yeah. So that's the thing. I mean, you can get me down, but it ain't about how hard you hit.
It's about
how hard you can get it and
keep
moving forward.
This is something which I was planning to bring up with you, which you've had a lot of fights and and we're going to talk more throughout that your entire MMA career. But the one, I think, above all else, the one attribute that you were known for is being incredibly tough. Very, very hard to take out. Very, very hard to finish. Wouldn't quit. Wouldn't stop. Keep moving forward. Where do you think does that attitude come from? Being the youngest of the being bullied?
I really think so. I mean, I'm a paratrooper as well, an ex-paratrooper, and though really I'm so far removed from that, I detest violence, and
let's talk about that quick.
I would say myself a pacifist, but the ideology and the training that produces you, and let's face it, say out of 100 men, 30 pass. You're weaned to be extremely aggressive, and there's only certain people can do this. Well, a third of the people who try out.
Yeah.
You're to be a winner, to be an emperor, to go and get what you want in life. And that attitude, I've taken. I mean, I already kind of had that attitude.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's the whole Rocky thing. It's not about how hard you hit.
Yeah.
And it's that attitude has just kept me going.
So how old were you when you went into the paratroopers?
17,
so
18.
Young.
Yeah.
Is that when you were...
I wanted to be an officer in the army.
From because you get to the age of about 14, 15, you start really thinking about what you want to do with your life. Was it you wanted to be in the army?
Yeah. I didn't really. What I thought I did. I thought my dad was horrified because he was a pacifist. He really was a pacifist. He'd seen things in the army, and that's why he came out. He had a family. He didn't want to. And it's funny, when my 40th birthday, my dad's passed. Well, he's actually here. We're speaking right now in this room.
Okay.
Hey, Dad. My best buddy's a captain in the Marines, and he doesn't ever talk about stuff. He's been in Sierra Leone, Iraq, Afghanistan, Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Done a lot.
Yeah.
Seen some horrible things. And my dad never used to talk about it. I used to ask my dad. I was fascinated. Have you killed anyone? Don't know. Might have done. Didn't really. But I was drunk in the corner of whatever I was doing, and my dad and my best mate, they started crying. They were talking about the army. My dad never shared that with me. He shared it with one of my best mates.
Was that because he was also in the army?
Yeah, and it made me think, wow, it's funny that men see horrific things, and we talk about PTSD.
Yeah.
And I suffer from PTSD, but I don't talk about it. Do you know why? Because, and this is part of the problem, I need to talk about. I'm talking about it now.
Sure.
I've started to learn. I've had so much therapy. Because when I've seen my friends who've seen the most horrific things, how can I compare myself to what they've done? And I've lost 3 very close friends, not who were soldiers. One was a soldier, and I see people throwing this card around, and it makes me feel I can't.
The PTSD card?
Yeah, and the reason why I know, because of my ex who threw that card around, and I'm not here to be disparaging towards her. I'm talking about Kate. She just went into rehab or something. Well, she didn't a while ago for PTSD.
Okay.
And I was asked to talk about this. This is the first time I've actually talked about it.
Sure.
I didn't want to talk about that, and I'm talking about it now. And I was asked a lot by lots of different media outlets.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to, make a mockery of my friends, and say when I suffer it from myself.
Yeah.
And it would be blown out of proportion. It would all be about her,
sure,
rather than what was going on. And that's the problem. If I even mention her name, people think I'm. I've actually started to okay, I can mention her name now. It's got. If I talk about anything to do with Katie, I'm only trying to make money.
Yeah,
I'm not really. But I can't stand anything to do with her.
People need to appreciate that was a part of your life. Whether it's made you money in the past, whether it could make you money in the future, you can't just ignore a huge part of your life.
And that's what. And people say that. I mean, so I'm like, hang on, I can't. If I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. People say lies and things about me. And I've not said things in the past, and a majority of the time, I think that's the right action to take. There are times if I called you a paedophile, you need to say something about that.
Yeah,
we don't need to, but I mean, if you're training children and you have a business, I mean, that's the most extreme example.
Yeah, of course.
You need to take action. So when you're being called, I wasn't called a paedophile, but I mean, if other horrible things,
sure.
Some of them you just let it go over your head, and sometimes you have to take action.
Yeah, and
and that's the only thing I can say on that. Because there's so many horrible things have been said and talked about in regards to her. That's why we have a 7-day court hearing at the end of this year.
Oh, really?
A big one, yeah.
Yeah. You're saying you got a lot. You got a lot of those.
That's one of them. There's a few. There's a few more coming.
Yeah.
There's 4 to be precise.
Really? Yeah.
I love court hearings. I've been in court, blimey, more than 50 times.
Wow.
In the last 10 years.
That's a pretty wild ride.
It's stressful as well.
I imagine so.
But you also compartmentalize it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I learned to talk about. Why I'm talking about a problem shared. It's a problem halved. Not necessarily, but it does help.
Yeah.
The fact is, I'm actually realizing. I'm an actor. I'm a darling, and that's one of the best methods of escapism, rather than drugs. My other one was fighting, because when you have to study another character, another personality, and become that person. You have to intrinsically understand why they're thinking, and when you understand somebody else, it makes you understand yourself.
Yeah.
Especially if you're reading a character who's maybe suffering a similar kind of problem to you. How cathartic is that? You're a jiu-jitsu instructor.
Yeah.
So do you think, I asked my trainers at London Shoot, do you think teaching makes you learn a technique better? If you're a world-class fighter, is it better to teach or just to be instructed? They said that it was, if you're a world-class fighter, it's better just to train. But I actually, for me, when I was my best in my prime, when I was teaching people as well, I was also being trained, but I was also going off and training, because when you're breaking down a technique to try and understand it to other people,
I think it works both ways. I think a lot of trainers are very, very high level MMA guys, especially. They actually don't want someone who's too free thinking. What you want is a robot. You know? Almost like in the military.
Remote control.
You want to be the guy as the trainer. You want to be the person with the remote control, and you want that individual. You want your star to be a robot who's going to take command and execute perfectly.
I was the Reidinator after the Terminator.
Yeah.
And I was like, right. I always say that wasn't just me. It was they were controlling, pulling the reins.
Yeah.
And my biggest problems was when I didn't have someone with a good control of the.
Sure.
What's that thing?
It requires a lot, like a remote control. Yeah. It requires a lot of trust from the athlete, which is why you see, actually, I think a lot of people fall out with their coaches.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of problems that come from that. If you look at something like a great example, not of a coach, but of a mentor figure or a manager with Don King and Tyson, Mike Tyson, which is, as the athlete, you don't want to have to worry about anything else. You don't want to worry about your diet. You don't want to have to worry about your conditioning, your strength. You don't want to worry about your technique training. All you want to do is do it. You don't want to think around it. So you want to almost take your brain out and you want to let someone else in there to steer it all. But there's a huge amount of trust needed. And a lot of trainers, I think, can sometimes take advantage of someone who is willing to become, sacrifice everything to become a world champion, to become a heavyweight champion, to be in the UFC, and give all of this trust to them. And then you need to be very careful with what you do, because if you steer them the wrong way, you can really ruin them.
So I'm fascinated. I love this as conversations. I love. You've got two different ways of doing it. There's no right or wrong, but in your opinion, which way is best? Do you let someone free, or do you okay, I'm going to have you train I'm the athlete and you're the coach. You train me to be free thinking, so whatever happens, I can prepare for it. Or do you specifically train me for? So I'm in control, but you're just giving me a little bit. Oh, did you see that bit? Or do you say, right? Yeah. He's weak here. He's weak there. This is the game plan.
Yeah.
Which is the best way? And then just before I finish, you got the Russians, Pavel Tatsuli. They seem to train every single technique.
Yeah.
I'm being generalization. Yeah. Whereas the Americans, the way I've trained, we train specifically for a camp. This is where the weakness is. You've got to train this method.
Yep.
And we'll talk about when I fought Tom Watson.
Yeah.
I neglected almost half of the things I'd been training just to specifically train for certain things for him. Now, that's all really good for one opponent, but for longevity, and maybe I neglected my jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And I actually had him at one point in a rear naked, and I'm like, I could have, if I had just worked on my jiu-jitsu a bit more. I was working on purposely sprawling and brawling and getting back up off the cage. Now, I say that because the Americans, they work specifically as an athlete. They've got 3 or 4, I'll be generalised, 3 or 4 techniques, and they work those techniques. And they probably wear those, I had a great Sangaku, a triangle, but I've put it on so many times, I've now got double hip resurfacing. Really? And I've done a lot of kicking as well. Yeah. But I actually really think it was all that shearing pressure of the Sangaku. Really? Same thing with the Americans. The athletes wear out, whereas the Russians, they're more. Am I wrong in saying they're more free thinking? They train more techniques.
There's definitely a difference in style between the Russians and between the more Americans. Americans do seem a little bit more militant, but then I think it depends on the individuals in Russia as well. And, there's plenty of. You go to a Rocky Ivan Drago, who was I always imagine not a particularly free thinker there. I was having to do everything he was told to do, but. I don't know. I don't know too much.
Generalising, but I mean, obviously you've got Americans who are going to be very free thinking as well.
Yeah.
But let's just say Russians are more free thinking and Americans aren't.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the best way?
Is that asking between what's better, the robot or the free thinker? I think it's a really tough one. I think it's a good question.
Because I was always trained as a robot.
Yeah. And I think that actually...
the reading it.
Yeah, I think that the people who are trained like a robot are the more successful fighters. But I think that the cost that you pay, you sold now. Yeah, but you sell your soul to the devil in a way to achieve greatness in any industry. There's a reason why the outliers are outliers. The people in the extremes of any spectrum are there because they're doing things that no one else is willing to do. I watched the interview that Mike Tyson did with Joe Rogan recently, and he was talking about how Customato essentially hypnotized him to harbor hate and aggression and to try and kill people, and he wasn't thinking about how Mike Tyson is going to react with relationships in 10 years time. He wasn't worrying about his relationships with his kids. He wasn't worrying about drug addiction. He wasn't worrying about alcohol, because he doesn't care about that. So you sell your soul to the devil in order to become...
Been there, and I've done that.
So I think that's the difference between the two. I think you need to decide whether you're willing to sacrifice everything to be the best, but potentially, if you don't balance it right, because it's all about balance like everything is, if you don't balance it right, it can be to the detriment of the rest of your life.
Before we started this interview, you asked me how am I? That sums up everything. I'm still paying the price for decisions I've made.
You sacrificed.
Not just in my... sports, but in my life I pushed the limit. I wanted things like, hang on, when you actually careful what you wish for, because I'm like, and that sums it up. And now I'm like, if I could do it all again, and listen, I'm going to get heavy again. I will do it all again because I believe in reincarnation.
Sure.
Although I don't know if I would want to come back and do it all again.
Sure.
But I mean, I'm going to do it all again.
Yeah. Well, saying that, and this is something that I was going to plan to ask far later, but since we got onto it now, I might as well ask it now, which is, if you had an opportunity to do it again, would you do it the same? Do you think that the lessons that you...
No, not at all.
No.
Like I said, I was the spiritual kid that didn't even know what spiritual was. And I used to hate using that word, spiritual. I think I've been here... Oh, I'm going to get a bit heavy now. I've had many reoccurring dreams where I've been on battlefields.
Yeah.
And deja vu of... And I've been to see many... I've studied lots of different religions, lots of different gurus, questioning what it's all about. What's it all about? From a very young age, the martial arts wasn't so much about being a badass. It was about using magic. And that's why I like Luke Skywalker, the Jedi, the Force, Merlin, the mighty. They all have mighty swords. No sexual pun intended. They have. There's a mysticism.
Yeah,
they're using, and all magic is science unexplained.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be a wizard as more than a fighter.
Sure.
So could I do it all again? I've been here 930 times.
Yeah.
In this physical incarnation, in this realm.
Yeah.
Spiritual, since oh God, do I go there?
Why not?
Adam and Eve,
yeah.
Not Adam and Steve. RH negative. Do you know about that stuff?
No. Is that blood type?
Yeah. Okay, I'm sure you know about the Anunnaki and all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So, whatever you believe in.
Sure.
I used to believe in the theory of evolution. Well, the latest form, there's been many Adam and Eves across the planet in different religions, and there's the latest current form of the human being. Since that form, since we became carnate beings, I believe we're spiritual beings. Look, I'm going to go off on tangents, and
that's no problem. That's no problem.
We're all made of electrons, ions, atoms, and neutrons.
Yeah,
vibrating at a certain configuration. I'm the same thing as this table, just in a different configuration.
Yeah,
physically on the physical, but I believe there's something more to us than just the physical, spiritual.
Sure,
which isn't entirely tangible yet.
Yeah.
So, in this physical, when we decided to be carnate beings from our higher selves, we die. I've been in this, and I don't know how long human beings have been around since.
It's about 300,000 years.
Yeah, give or take a few.
Yeah,
and I believe we were different beings before that, and we've been different beings elsewhere. We've decided to come down on we call this.
Do you not believe in the evolution via natural selection?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's more than that.
Sure.
I also believe in it also being by a superior designer.
Okay.
What's that? What's the word? The design
theory.
We've been an architect.
Yeah.
Someone's like come in and played around with us.
This is a spiritual being or an alien, physical alien being?
Doesn't matter what you think. It could be a spiritual alien. And incidentally, I'm going to go and talk to these people tomorrow night.
Okay,
I'll tell you about that in a second.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? I'm pretty good at bookmarking where we were. We're still on the linear line of Alex Reid's life. We're still on Paratrooper.
So there's been about 900 people, 900 life forms. Half of those been a woman, half of those been a man.
Yeah,
and in many of these lifetimes, I have tried to experience what it is like to have up to pain and sadness, and I'm one of my recurrent. I went and saw. I've seen many psychics and had the same thing come up. I was killed in barbarian times or medieval times. I was tied up, and my wife and my children were raped and killed in front of me, and I died, not being able to help them.
This is a dream that you have,
a recurring dream.
Okay,
yeah. And I've been on battlefields, and so I left that lifetime wanting to learn how to fight, to protect, because I was like a farmer.
Yeah. So
that's why I've wanted to have always fought for justice.
Yeah. And
I'm like kind of starting to understand this. I've looked at this. This recurring dream was horrible. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So that would explain. But I've had enough of this. I've asked every guru, every spiritual. I've had enough. I don't want to go on this cycle anymore.
Yeah.
If we've come away there's a big bang, right? We're created, and God decides, okay, you're going to go and experience. You want to go and I'm going to give you everything you want, but you've got to experience pain as well. So you feel like you've earned it. Because if you just get it naturally without earning it, you don't appreciate it.
Sure.
Nah, you're God, right?
Yeah.
Let me understand all that straight away.
Sure.
I don't want any more pain, any more suffering.
Yeah.
I want to get off this karmic.
You're trying to break the cycle.
Conveyor belt.
Sure.
And I believe when we die, we're attracted back to come here and do it again.
So how are you planning to stop that cycle?
Well, I believe you can break that cycle. I mean, it sounds like hairy-fairy hippie stuff, and I don't often talk about this, but
we're in there now.
We're in there now. I try not to talk. I don't want to try like a David Icke. I mean, I've done a lot of study on this. And it doesn't matter if you don't believe it. If you think I'm talking a load of bollocks.
It's like with anything that can't be measured is spiritual, or whether it's religious or not.
This is what I think. And so basically, I would like to break the karmic cycle because I've had enough. And I think there's other things I want to go off and do. I mean, I believe we've come from different star systems and all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
I'm covering so much, and I study this daily.
Yeah.
I'm trying to paraphrase, which is very difficult because this is years of research. Basically, I've had enough of this planet. It's fun. It's been a good movie.
Yeah.
A good break. I often think. I look at my cat. Have you got any pets?
I've got a dog.
And you love your dog?
I do. He's the best.
Do you ever think this? I don't know what your opinion is. My cat, we love her so much.
Yeah.
That is what she lived, 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
That's like a holiday. That's a vacation. Do you know? I'm going to incarnate as Mitzi the cat, the Siamese cat.
Oh, is that the plan?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Be something easy. Dog or a cat?
You got 15 years.
You got the best lives.
15 years of love.
Yeah.
Unless you're Chinese.
Yeah.
Well, what's the other? Oh, yeah.
Korean. Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Imagine you live your whole life trying to manipulate spirituality and manipulate your karmic circle so you come back not as another human, destined to relive a painful existence for 80 years, but you finally manage to break the cycle and become a dog. Man. And you're born in China.
Yeah. Oh. Well, that wouldn't be good. But I often wonder this because I haven't quite worked it all out. I mean, obviously, there's things beyond my comprehension.
Yeah.
But I really think, hang on, that she has got the life of Riley.
Yeah,
she is so loved, so looked after.
Yeah.
And I think, wow, she hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
She's got the life. I want to be her.
It comes like this whole question, like we domesticated animals. There's a lot of debate over how long it was where we domesticated dogs and cats. There's some people that actually there's theories out there that our domestication, when you go back to 500,000 years ago, and obviously there was a lot of humanoid creatures. Neanderthals were like kind of our biggest competition, as Homo sapiens were our biggest competition for a long time. And the original, a while ago, people used to think that Neanderthals were stupid, dumber than us, and that's why we managed to eradicate all of them, because we were more intelligent or we were physically stronger. But it turned out actually they were probably more intelligent than us, they were physically stronger than us. So there's a lot of confusion as to why it was Homo sapiens and not Neanderthals that came to wipe out all the other humanoids. Well, there's this theory that one of the theories is it's really built into our social structure, our ability to create abstract thoughts, like having gods. Gods is the creation of gods was vital. Spiritual beings was vital to joining people together who couldn't live within a single tribe. So let's say have you ever heard of the Dunbar number? So the Dunbar number is the number of proper, close, tight-knit relationships that one human being can realistically have, and the number is 150. So you can't really have a close relationship. I'm not talking about your Instagram followers or your Facebook friends or people that you could wave to at the street. I'm talking about people that you really know and then you have a close relationship with. And our brain, you can measure the size of people's brains. 150 people. Now, if you look at lots of different aspects of, when I say modern society, I'm talking the last 10,000 years, the size of regiments in the Roman army and the size of indigenous tribes. Once they get over 150, they split into two, like roughly that number. They split into two and then they grow up to a similar size. So this Dunbar number of 150 people seems to be this really consistent number of the amount of social interactions that we can have, which is a really large number. But imagine we can't go past, realistically, we can't have a society bigger than 150 because you don't share the same sort of culture. Then you create these abstract things, spirituality, and you create gods. So let's say we create the god of the sun. We start worshipping the sun and we create a religion around the sun. Well, now there could be 10,000 people who all share the same religion. And because you have this one thing that's centered, that you all have in common, it allows everyone to have a common goal or a common ideology. And it was through the creation of these spiritual characters and these abstract, non-physical beings that we could actually create much, much larger societies. If you look at when I say, abstract things, these are things that aren't tangible. So gods, whether it's the Greek pantheon, the Roman pantheon, whether it's Christianity or Islam or Judaism or whatever, these are things that can join millions of people together to the same cause. But banks are an abstract concept. They don't exist. They're not tangible. They don't really exist. Yeah, they're just a place that holds money, but we believe it. Like, money isn't real. Money only works because we believe in it. But you can control an entire country and an entire world because everyone believes in the same thing. So I think, going back, that's really getting off a tangent.
They believe in an idea.
It's an idea.
So if you believe in an idea, it becomes real.
Yeah. So I've totally gone off more of a tangent than you did there, but
I'm loving
that
it.
ability to way back. This all came off of you asking me why I think that Homo sapiens beat the Neanderthals. One of the theories is that because we were able to create religion, you could join way more people together.
What do you think about genetically modifying DNA and all that stuff? Aliens.
That
to make them a bit better.
That I don't know. But then the other one.
Do you think we came from Mars?
Yeah, I've heard it.
What do you
women
reckon on
from
that
Venus,
one?
right?
No, I'm actually generally
really?
serious. Would you know about that one?
No.
Okay.
Well, I think is that like the because obviously the big question when it comes to human or life on Earth is how did the first single-celled amoeba come? And one of them is impregnia, I think it's called, which is that the first organic matter was brought to the planet from somewhere else.
And where did the intelligence come from?
Well, the intelligence, in my opinion, the intelligence came from that is evolution. That is evolution.
Is it though? If it's come from somewhere else, it's this secret germ amoeba. If we're going to go into evolution,
yeah,
it was in the sea and then it became all the way up to us.
Yeah, people really struggle with the idea that our great ancestors were tiny fish, or our great ancestors were one amoeba.
When does the germ become? Listen, I'm talking about veganism at the moment, right?
Okay.
Are you a vegan at all?
Absolutely not.
No. And I'm all right with killing.
Sure.
I eat meat, but I've been vegan this week because I'm doing an acacia ceremony tomorrow.
Sure.
I'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah,
it's basically Egyptian ayahuasca.
Yeah.
I agree with being vegan. Why? Because of the different benefits what we're doing to our environment. The cruelty to animals. I'm okay with killing, but the decadence of a McDonald's.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Get all that. But it's sheer, plants have feelings.
Yeah.
By the sheer act of breathing, we're killing organisms in our body, germs. When do we stop killing? So, when does it become okay to kill? By being alive, we're killing.
I think that humans kind of get a little bit too self-absorbed with the ability to control life and death. Everyone wants to play God. Life doesn't exist without death. It's all a cycle, I think.
But pain.
Pain is something that...
Why do we have to have pain and misery and sadness?
We became too intelligent. This goes back to what I was saying about why we defeated the Neanderthals. The other theory, by the way, about why we defeated Neanderthals, because originally we were talking about your cat and domestication. The other theory is that we beat the Neanderthals because we domesticated dogs as wolves, and they basically fought alongside us and helped us defeat it. But anyway, we already got past that.
No, I got that.
That's one theory. It's quite an interesting theory.
I hear that, yeah.
So when it comes to, part of when we create these big societies is the stimulation in the brain that having lots of social interactions has. And that's what we are. We are a social, we are apes that can talk and relay feelings and have emotions and have 150 very close friends and acquaintances. And I think with that becomes a level of intelligence that is subjected to all of the negatives as well as the positives. You can't have the positives. You can't have, like, we can be happier than any dog can be. We can feel joy more than any dog can feel. You know, that dog that won Britain's Got Talent, I can guarantee you.
How can you tangibly mark that?
I believe that because I purely believe that based on the size of the brain. I believe that humans have the ability to feel everything in more extremes purely because we have the nervous system and brain capacity to do so. We can think further ahead and we can think further back.
Where did the brain come from? Was it designed or was it evolution?
I believe that it was evolution. Which some people don't believe that something as perfect as the brain could be evolved to, but I
believe in the spirit.
I believe in spirituality to a degree.
When you die, what happens?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
I'm not sure. You know,
Are you uncomfortable?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I think it's an interesting question, and everyone kind of has their own. Some people don't like to ponder what happens when they die.
I think we should learn death at school.
I
if we learn that one day we're going to die, we'll really live.
Yeah, I agree. I think if I could talk to let's say I could talk to God, assuming that He existed, and I could ask Him any question, and He told me that when you die, everything goes black, and that's the end of it forever. I would say, that doesn't surprise me. And if He told me that one of the things that I do think will possibly happen, and you will probably get back onto this because of your ayahuasca thing that you're doing this week, but they say that a large amount of DMT is released in your brain when you die. So I believe that when you die, your brain, the last thing it does is release a huge overload of DMT.
Have you ever done it?
I've not done it, no. It's something that I plan to do, but I haven't done any sort of hallucination.
But we'll talk about that.
Okay, we'll talk about that after. Yeah. But I believe that there's a good chance that the brain is overloaded with DMT, and it feels like, and DMT, as I'm aware, I've spoken to people who have done it. It's very good at, like most hallucinogenics are, very good at taking away your perception of time. So even though, let's imagine your brain releases a huge overload of DMT, and then it switches off completely. 1 second after, but that 1 second may feel like a billion years, you know? So I think I wouldn't be surprised if when people have come back to life after dying or almost died and they say, oh, they saw this and that, that was just a hallucinogenic trip. But then, you know, there's other things that will be, you go back and you live again and you're reincarnated. I'm not sure. But I'm pretty open-minded to all of the above.
Why do you think you doing what you're doing on this planet right now?
Why do I think I am?
Your personality, your nature. Why are you like you are? Is it pure
coincidence? Yeah. I'm willing to believe. I'm willing to take pretty much I'm willing to look at things. I'm open-minded enough to look at things from a spiritual and purely scientific point at the same time, you know, from both those points at the same time. So I would say one thing is that I am who I am because of a combination of my genetics and my environment. Do you ask many
questions?
Yeah, I consider myself a pretty curious person.
So
yeah.
I really envy, and I'm not going to say stupid people. I'm
ignorant people? Ignorance is bliss?
Not even ignorant. Yeah. I kind of think it is to some degree. I wish I was really stupid and rich sometimes, but I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't wish that because I've been there.
Sure.
And I used to be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
It didn't bring happiness.
Yeah.
My integrity, my credibility, my self-worth. Look at me, I'm famous as well.
Yeah.
But I see people who are so lost in their religions, who are don't believe in anything. I'm like, and they just get on with life. They're kind of lucky. Let's go back to the Matrix. They're in the Matrix.
Yeah,
they got it right. Are we a hologram? Elon Musk. Elon. Couldn't think of his name. We're a hologram. It doesn't matter if we are. I mean,
that's the whole thing in the Matrix is that that guy was just like, you know what? I'm going to live in the Matrix.
Yeah,
like the brain, and like I want to live here. This is good. The fake hologram steak tastes pretty good to me. Just leave me in here.
Damn right.
Yeah,
damn right. Doesn't mean you're real or not real, does it? You're still there. Who say what's right and wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah. I asked too many questions. Sometimes I hurt myself.
It's good, man. We definitely went off a tangent there.
You know, Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I totally get that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
He's been on a pretty deep spiritual journey of late, hasn't he?
I get what he says.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we blow it all up.
Yeah.
I mean, does it really? If the world we do a nuclear bomb in the whole world, does it matter? I kind of get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want
Is that do you have a nihilistic view of life and the world?
Nihilistic.
Nothing. That is kind of nothing matters, and we're just a speck of dust.
No, I'm envious of that.
Yeah.
I'm envious of that. I can understand that. I care too much.
Sure.
Like I said, I have insecurities. I'm still the insecure kid. There's something. My hardwiring, who I've come onto this planet at this time as Alexander Aristides Reid, is to suffer and to have joy and to ask these painful questions.
Do you believe in fate?
Yeah.
And do you believe that your fate, the life, if you live many lives, do you believe that this life in particular, your fate is purely to suffer and to learn from it?
Not to suffer. I mean, there's I do believe getting all the secret law of attraction. I was doing that way before it became popular. I've attracted, and as a young kid, studying really great people, wanting to emulate these people. I wanted these things, and I've wanted greatness, and I've attracted some good stuff, and I almost got everything I wanted, and also got everything I didn't want. So I understand. We're in a very weird. We're in a playground where we can have whatever we want. Yeah. If we really concentrate and focus on it, but you've got to be careful what you concentrate and focus on, because you get what you don't want.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go back a little bit to paratrooper stuff. You joined the paratroopers when you were 17 years old, right?
To be a tough guy, because I was scared of people.
Really? Is that what it was? Was that a fear?
Also to prove to my dad, I wanted to be.
Sure.
I'll show you fuckers. I'm a badass.
Yeah.
And it's how many people do that?
I'm sure a huge amount.
Why do you start lifting weights and you want to be tough? You want to be strong.
Yeah. Do you think that's a problem with the current society's views on masculinity?
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. My idea of being a man was fighting.
Yeah.
Being a soldier, the most alpha male. Isn't it funny?
Is that in our nature?
I think it's been designed in our nature. What's the biggest business bar none in the world? War.
Yeah.
And how do we control people? We create a problem and we solve it. And getting all conspiracy theory here.
Sure.
We've got to go and fight those guys over there because they're not wearing the right sort of hat. Their god's got a different beard to our god.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know about the theory of the Tower of Babel?
Yeah.
The divide and conquer. What's the first thing we get? I'm going off on massive tangents. I'm not going to go
Let's do it.
What's the first thing we get when we're born?
I don't know. Tell me.
A birth certificate.
Okay.
A national insurance number.
Mm-hmm.
We're a part of a clan, a tribe. Why? I don't know. I don't want to be part of a clan or tribe. Why do I have to? Why is that?
I don't know. There's lots of theories about it, but I
why do we need to go and fight these guys over here? It's
that
World
we
War
don't
II.
need to do.
I mean, like, why? Why do we have to have different clans? Why can't we all be friends? Okay, I'm going to go there straight away. I'm doing an acacia ceremony tomorrow, and it's basically another version of ayahuasca.
So it's a DMT derivative.
Yes, I've taken DMT before. I watched something yesterday, and I've always curious, why are these substances feared and frowned upon in society by the powers that be? And we're so brainwashed and cajoled. Like I was just going, we get a birth certificate, we go to school, we're taught to obey a system. And what do we do? Is it the Nazis? They found, please correct me if I'm wrong, I think they were using fluoride to make people more docile and compliant. Yeah. Or was it the CIA, and they started to use it as well? And guess what? What do we brush our teeth with? What do we have in our water supply? Yeah. What's a great way of getting a drug into your system to make you more docile? So fluoride calcifies your pineal gland, your amygdala, your third eye. We have synapses. I'm sure you know all about this. Sure. Which run back to the back of our brain. Which, if you cut our brain open, this is the thing, the dimethyltryptamine, which the pineal gland produces, DMT. Yeah. It gives you clairvoyance, deja vu. So when you shut your eyes and you imagine you want to, it's that's working. I'm going to be taking a massive trip of that tomorrow. We're very respected and trusted people This is not something you muck around with. In fact, actually, this is the craziest thing, and I've gone off on tangents, but
that's fine.
Around the world, this is a medicine which is used to get people off hard drugs.
Yes.
Because what you do is you go and meet your maker, or you might be your maker, your God, your higher self, who you are, and you go and talk to yourself. And I've studied this so much in one of the studies I've seen. 5,000 people who've died and come back. Yeah. They see the same thing, and they basically go and talk to themselves. Look, then they come back. What are you doing, Reid? Shouldn't be doing that. Shouldn't be taking that. Shouldn't be treat that person a bit nicer. Not always. Yeah. This often happens. So what I'm going to go and do that tomorrow night.
So you said you've done DMT before?
I have.
As part of ayahuasca or pure DMT?
I've done just changa. Changa is a substance which produces DMT.
You've done it just once?
I've done it a few times. I actually made a TV show recently. We put it on hold at the moment.
Okay.
Did it at a hippie festival in Epping Forest.
Yeah.
And I'm smoking this. It looked like I was smoking it from a crack pipe, and I'm like, this doesn't look good. I teach children martial arts. Doing it very respectfully with shaman, and it was great. I mean, I felt such peace and love, and I had eureka, enlightenment for that 5 seconds. Yeah. Probably about 10 minutes actually.
So, because
I knew the meaning of life.
Have you done ayahuasca before?
I haven't done ayahuasca.
So ayahuasca, from what I'm aware of, is a much longer version of the.
And tomorrow I'm doing acacia.
Is that a similar length, or?
Acacia is about 6 hours. The amount I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So
do you get the purging as well, the vomiting and?
You can do.
Shitting.
So right now that's why I'm going vegan. I'm making. Now let's look at why would you go vegan? Because I connect to my pineal gland every night. Every night I do meditation.
Sure.
And I'm speaking to my higher self all the time. Some people might call that God, whatever. That's what I call it, my higher self. When you're eating meat, and if it's been killed in a certain way, one of the theories, and I buy this, if you're eating cheap chicken and it's been tortured and mutilated, and just you're going to take on that energy and that fear.
Yeah.
So that's going to be in my system. So when you start understanding all this stuff and you become one with everything, your body's going to hang on a minute. Why have you got this horrible energy inside you?
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Not nice. So that's why I'm actually.
So hopefully not gonna.
Listen, just before I came here.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to have dairy.
Yeah.
And I went in the fridge and I'm like, I've been eating vegan. I'm like, because I eat meat.
Yeah.
And I'm terrible. I mean, I try to avoid things like McDonald's. If it's once in a blue moon,
not real food.
Yeah, I will eat it.
Sure.
Yeah. If I'm going to a birthday party, I'm going to eat some chocolate cake and have a burger. But I try not to. I do my best. I went in the fridge and looked at a yogurt and it looked really tasty. And and I started thinking about the cows and the suffering.
Yeah.
And I thought, I could eat it, so I'm all right. And I'm going to be a hypocrite. And I thought, I'm probably going to puke that up tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So acacia is, they say when Moses talked to the burning bushes, it was the acacia plant.
Yeah. I think it's quite obvious that, plant medicine, and specifically hallucinogenic plant medicine, be that ayahuasca or anything with DMT in it, or psychedelic mushrooms, it's quite obvious that almost all of the spiritual, religious experiences that are documented in the Bible,
feeding the 5,000
are coming from
the wine. Have you seen the symbolism of the mushrooms on the cup?
Yeah.
Psychosilium.
Yeah.
Jesus, they're all getting high, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you ever tried any of this stuff?
I haven't done anything, but it's not because I'm closed-minded to the idea. I intend to.
It has to be respected
to do it, but I do respect it, and for that reason, I believe personally, from what I've seen in the research that I've done, that it's really important not to do any psychedelics until your brain is fully developed, which is sort of mid-20s, which is where I am now.
Right.
So I waited until I was over 20.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
28 years young, baby.
Yeah. I don't know. My body doesn't feel it sometimes.
Wow, 28 years young.
So I feel like now I'm at a point where in the next couple of years I might.
Well, when you're ready.
Yeah.
Listen, I've not done ayahuasca. I smoked DMT as a junkie about 15 years ago. Just
because another high.
Mixing it with cocaine.
Really?
What a dick.
Yeah.
I mean, I truly respect this stuff.
Sure.
And I purposely, like you, because you hear all the horror stories.
Yeah.
And I digress. I'm going to come back to it. the fluoride.
Yeah.
It was designed to make the population more docile, more subservient. Makes sense. Why we having our water supply? Am I a conspiracy nut? Sometimes I talk to myself. Reid, you're just like David Icke there. You don't believe that. Yeah, but there's something in it. I mean, what's the best way of getting some drugs into your system on your gums? What do? You brush your teeth. I mean, I don't brush my teeth with fluoride anymore.
You use tap water? Filtered water?
I do use tap water.
Yeah. Sorry,
I've got a Kangen water filter.
Bottled water, yeah.
No, I use tap water.
Yeah.
I've got a Kangen water filter which takes fluoride out. The other thing is, in the 60s, Vietnam, everyone's going off to war, right? Again, the CIA, they made LSD illegal. Why? Everyone's taking them. Why don't we go and kill off these dudes in another country? What's that all about? Why? What are they doing? You know, it's crazy. Why are we going and killing each other? That's why it became illegal, because it starts opening your mind to like, this isn't cool, man. And we're so controlled in society, and there's so many drugs in our society. Forget about recreational drugs. Prescription drugs kill way more people.
Absolutely, I agree.
And forget the two most biggest drugs I consider, which have severe health causes. And I've written an article in the Huffington Post about this. Sugar, coffee. When you heat the alkaloid in the coffee bean, it changes, which releases dopamine and serotonin. Same with sugar, most addictive substance on the planet. Everyone is, and it's socially acceptable.
Yeah.
And then you've got obviously alcohol. In terms of death, they say it's smoking kills the most, followed by alcohol, followed by opioids, followed by cocaine.
Yeah.
I say make every drug legal, everything, and give people free choice.
I agree with that. I think that takes a lot of the how many people die from cocaine because it's cut with
bleach.
Yeah, or
look, I mean, it's all shit, but I mean, it doesn't.
Not saying that pure cocaine is better for you, but
there's a place for it. I'm anti-drugs. I mean, I've done pretty much everything, bar heroin and crystal and all that sort of, but if you're gonna drink, I don't understand the thing with weed. I mean, I smoke a joint once in a blue moon, but you don't smoke it and go driving.
Yeah.
If you've got responsibilities, you wouldn't do it. I wouldn't drink and drive.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have a beer. Yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't do more. You understand? But it's just the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a ceremony tomorrow. The reason why I'm doing it is I'm connecting to higher entities. Call it what you want.
Yeah.
All the time. And I want a better antennae.
Sure.
My radio's it's only got Duracell. I need to get plugged into the mains.
Yeah.
So
that should be interesting.
Maybe we should go and do another one. You should come and do it with me. You know who did it? Who's the guy? London Real. Brian Rose.
Brian Rose, yeah, I know.
He went off. He said he went off somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Flew out of the country to take DMT.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm like, right.
Was that before or after? Because you did a podcast with him, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
That
was good.
Yeah. A bit of a cough. Anyway, let's go back to how you came out of the paratroopers, or because you came out and you got straight into acting after that, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's say to say I was a paratrooper, it's a little bit. I was a paratrooper. I mean, my friends went to Afghanistan, Iraq. I was the TA. I was in Tempera, which is part time. Although we were one of the units which was highly respected by the regulars because we were going to see in action.
Yeah.
I joined up young, dumb, and full of
Yeah.
Well, let's kill everybody. Yeah. And you get brainwashed. You become like you're. And then I'm like, hang on a minute. My dad hated the fact that I was a soldier because he was like, he was also weirdly proud. It's like it's D-Day the other day.
I think it was yesterday or the day beforehand, yeah.
And there was all these old boys are jumping out into Arnhem.
Yeah.
I did their 50th anniversary. It was the biggest jump ever since that was 94, 93. Wow. Prince Charles jumped with us. They only had like 2 Hercules. Yeah. Hercules is an aircraft. We had about 13.
Yeah.
We were all. It was very dangerous. Wow. People got hurt.
Yeah.
Because it was
a lot of people in the air.
And I'm weirdly I'm anti Remembrance Sunday.
Okay.
If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. I'm like, well, it's fucked up because there's some rich people in the world are going to get all Bilderberg and Rothschild on you, but they're deciding who ultimately why the wars happen in the first place. It's because they would make more money. Look at the war on terror, 9/11. Do you know? Did we have this conversation?
No.
More people now. Obviously, war is big and drugs is big.
Yeah.
More people in America. I think it was a 60% increase in prescription drugs. On I haven't got the exact figures, so I'm sure someone's going to shoot me down in flames. Around that sort of figure for when you're feeling depressed, antidepressant drugs.
Yeah.
Why? Because everyone's on a higher state of alert because of 9/11. Is that me being a conspiracy theorist, or is that like, well, let's look what they've also lowered in America, the age of not the age, the test for people suffering with ADHD, so they can put them more on Ritalin.
Well, the American healthcare system is completely fucked up.
Let's get everyone on drugs. The world's on drugs, and when we are, this is, I think, a grave crime into humanity. The Western world is on all drugs, and most of the world's on drugs. What we're making, our next generation is weaker than us in the first time in history. And I'm like, well, what's going on? Why is that? That is, we are taking drugs to take our senses away, to cope. Look, it's okay. Listen, I'm taking ayahuasca, acacia tomorrow. I'll drink a beer. I'll smoke a joint once in a blue moon. Okay. I don't do that regularly. And listen, if I did, I'm not judging that either.
Yeah.
If you want to do it regularly, I'm not. But I believe if I did that regularly, it's dumbing my senses into reality and what's really going on here and now. I did a lot of drugs in my celebrity years because I was so sad, so depressed. Escapism. Didn't like myself, and I wanted to escape. I didn't think I was depressed. I was having a whale of a time. I was having, doing cocaine and having fun, but then I thought this part of me said this isn't right. So what did I do? I went back to my martial arts and started fighting again without training. I took on my career. My career wasn't really great in terms of my record. I was taking fights without training. And
you fought legit guys.
Yeah.
People need to understand
just because I wanted to,
you weren't fighting bums.
Do you know what? I was suffering from court cases, being denigrated continually by the press, destroyed. The most horrific thing said about me, I'm some sort of gay, and I'm not worried about, I've got no sexual, I'm not discrepant. I've become a champion for LGBT. I never wanted to be a champion, but I've been called because of the whole cross-dressing thing. I went out in a dress and I had a bit of fun dressing up as a girl. But this is ridiculous that it's become, if you're going for a job for Mothercare and you're associated with Ann Summers, you're not going to get it. Not that I'm ever going to go for a job as Mothercare, but everyone talks about that whole cross-dressing thing. I'm like,
okay, let's do that.
Boring.
Let's do that. So, like,
walking past the building site and guys are like, Roxy, and I'm like,
so like, so this whole thing. So, firstly, and I know one of the things that I've always noticed about you whenever you're doing any media stuff is like you are incredibly open with to talking about anything and to talking to everyone, and I think very possibly to your detriment sometimes.
Absolutely,
because people have taken that and they've really taken advantage of your honesty, and you've been ridiculed for a lot of stuff.
Goes back to how I grew up. I mean, just be honest. What does it matter? I mean, like, why people are so stigmatized? I understand because people would rather be castrated and ostracized from the group.
Yeah.
Through evolution, because if you're not part of the group, you've got less chance of a survival.
You die, yeah.
So people like to do this point, and I'm like, I've never been that. I've always been the guy, the outsider. And I'm sorry, I'll cut you off.
Yeah, that's fine.
Big Brother. I was never part of any group, and I've just wanted to mix with everybody.
Yeah.
And that kind of showed, I think the population saw that, from 40-1 odds to win, having booed, to getting the highest vote in the history of Big Brother.
Yeah.
And I think, why is that? Because I was innocent, and people actually saw that.
Yeah. We'll come back. We'll definitely come back to Big Brother because I think that's obviously a crazy time.
What you were
talking about the cross-dressing and LGBT and all of that stuff. Like, firstly, how do you identify your sexuality?
I have a lovely gorgeous partner. I'm predominantly heterosexual. I would say I'm pansexual.
Okay.
I could. I'm not attracted to men.
Yeah.
But I could. I don't imagine being in a relationship with men.
Sure.
I've tried that sort of thing as experimental. I once said I was trisexual.
Yeah.
But let me get rid of that.
No worries, no worries.
It's the wife.
Yeah.
Hi, Nikki, you heard me talking. Wife to be. Yeah. So pan is, I see the soul. Yeah. The reason why people, they get so het up in their actual physical incarnation here and now. Because I believe in reincarnation. I've been here many times. I've been a man and woman many times. I've been gay, straight, black, white, pink, all sorts of, well, I don't know about pink.
Yeah.
How can my soul isn't judgmental of gender or sexual orientation. Yeah. It wants to learn.
Yeah.
So when I see it like that, I see the soul. In this physical incarnation, I like girls, femininity. Like I've tried boys, as an experiment, and I mean, not a problem, but it's not my taste.
Sure.
So now I would say pansexual, although my preference is predominantly heterosexual.
Sure. Yeah. And what
would you say yours is?
I would heterosexual. Yeah. But I
could you? Does it feel weird to be with a man? See, for being grown up,
sure. Yeah.
And I was open-minded parents. They were not really. I mean, people might get the wrong idea that thinking that we're really sexual, weird.
Sure, yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I got told off a bit. I was the one that was naughty and cheeky.
Yeah.
I was just open-minded because I was. Obviously, I'm the youngest, so that they had the first five.
Yeah,
they got the strictness,
sure,
and parents get a bit more relaxed.
Pretty chill by the time they get to the sixth one.
All right, here we go. Yeah. And I'm asking all sorts of weird and wonderful questions.
Yeah.
But still, it intrinsically felt wrong, and I felt shy to ever admit that having had sexual relationships with a man.
Yeah,
because that's not right. You shouldn't do that.
How old were you when you sort of thought that you may be not completely heterosexual? Was it from a young age? Or?
I've never accepted that. I never accepted that because you can't do that. How can you? That's not right.
So have you ever had that sort of thought?
Probably about 15, 16.
Yeah. And whenever you had that sort of thought, you had to push it back because that wasn't masculine, that wasn't Rocky, that wasn't Rambo.
Correct. Yeah. And now I realise now I understand that's ridiculous.
Well, I think as you get older and you realise that those things are less important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you first did you come out publicly as fluid sexuality?
I never came out.
Sure. Okay. So people came out on your behalf.
Yeah.
So how long ago was that?
Well. Okay. So I was very honest with everyone I've ever been with as well. Yeah. And it's again.
The one thing I don't think anyone could
being honest
could accuse you of is not being honest.
Isn't really necessarily the best thing. I'm like, well, what? So what? Yeah. Like I went on the front cover of OK and said I'm gay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not homosexual.
Yeah.
And why define yourself as one thing? I'm many things.
Sure.
I'm me.
But
and I'm not a cross dresser.
Yeah.
I'm a happy dresser.
Yeah. I like that.
And these aren't women's clothes. These are my clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saying listen, we say that and I joke. Yeah. I'm all being big and tough and if I see someone who looks pretty bad dressed as a bloke dressed as a bird, I'm like, I wouldn't say anything. But this our conditioning in society. I think that looks a bit weird. So there's a time and a place. You're not going to walk down the street in your knickers.
What I was going to ask. So you've kind of. There was a whole thing with the cross-dressing thing, and whether that's something that you do regularly, whether you're something that's something that you enjoy.
I can't remember the last time I crossed. And like I said, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
happy dressed.
Yeah,
I'm not anti-happy dressed. It's just not the same kick anymore.
So, how long ago was that roughly that came out? And the reason why I asked that is because I feel like in the last 5 years, society has really suddenly moved towards a lot more acceptance for trans people, for gender fluid people, and stuff like that. Obviously, there's a lot on the other side that are still really against that, but I think there's a lot more acceptance. Absolutely. So I kind of want to sort of question you on if you feel that the way that the media treated you back when it first came out compared to how you feel now.
Horrendous. It's vile, and it is ridicule joke. And I had two women in particular who were making lots of money. When at the same time, you've got people like Eddie Izzard who've been celebrated.
Sure.
Because mine was being made out to be sexually inappropriate or something.
Depraved, yeah.
Depraved.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, whatever you do in the bedroom,
you
do what you want, as long as it's consensual and you're not hurting anyone.
I agree.
I'm like, and private.
Yeah.
But mine wasn't. And do you know what? And
is that because nothing in your life was private at that point?
And I was like, well, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like this. And I thought, I'm a paratrooper. No. That's it. Let's go full force. Let's go for it. And I went out just a couple of times as Roxanne.
Yeah.
Roxanne. I went out. Roxanne was created actually in 2006.
Okay.
Went out on a boys' night out with the London Shoot Fighters, and a few of us decided to dress up as girls.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I've gone out dressed up as a girl on multiple occasions.
What was your name?
I didn't have a name. That's what I need to work on.
Girl, what's your name?
I don't.
Come on.
I'd get as creative calling myself Danielle at the moment. I'd have.
What sort of girl are you, Danielle? Are you a good time girl? Do I make you uncomfortable?
I'm a straight person, but I think
Danielle.
you go out dressed as a girl just for a bit of fun, right?
Well, we did. We had. I've had sex just as a girl. And it's all. In fact, I'm going to go into that because my sex.
Sure, yeah.
Let's go there. We went out just as girls in 2006, and we gave each other girl names. And if I was going to be a girl,
is that what it was? That they
Alexander. If I was going to go, I was going to be Roxanne. Roxanne was Alexander's wife.
Okay,
and that was kind of the end of it until.
So was it just a bit of fun? Or?
Until it was.
Yeah,
it really was. And then it was years later with Katie.
Yeah.
She was on Facebook. She said, "Oh my God, we're drunk. I've just won an alpha male cage fight."
Yeah.
And she, what was it?
You were together at this point?
Yeah, I don't know if we weren't married. And she, I don't even like talking about this because I don't mind talking about me, just because I'm talking about her. I was not supposed to talk about her, but, well, it happened.
Yeah.
She saw pictures of me and she dressed me up and I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Let's have fun.
Yeah.
And then guess what? The following week, she took pictures, and I'm like, "This is fun. This is great."
Yeah,
we're at Simon Cowell's 50th.
Yeah, okay.
As you are. I remember Piers Morgan coming up to me because she'd left me, and "You're right, mate." Oh God, yeah, I'm all right. That's worse when someone says you're right.
Yeah,
and you're like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She showed the world's press pictures of me.
Really.
The following week after that, she's on Graham Norton in front of 20 million people live on TV, and she's talking about your
sex life.
Yeah, and I'm like, no. So listen, why I am talking about that is because I had a choice.
Yeah, I
could just deny it.
Yeah,
or go with it.
Yeah,
and I just went with it. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's cool. And I thought it was cool for a bit.
Yeah,
and then it just what they say: one door closes, another
opens,
slam shut.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a serious actor. People joke about that the other day because I was on Channel 5, Channel 4, and Jeremy Vine a couple of weeks ago. About Jeremy Kyle suicide.
Yeah.
And I said that I'm an actor.
Because you were on the Jeremy Kyle show.
Yeah, and I talk about that very quickly. I went on there cajoled by my managers and agents at the time. That was 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I just split up with Chantal, and I wasn't seeing my little girl at the time, and they said, you've got to do this because she said all this bad stuff about you, and I'm like, I didn't want to do it, and I actually, in my gut, I should have listened to my gut, but I listened to.
I guess when you're in that world, you just your managers telling you to do something.
Why is all Graham tongue? Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
The poison dwarfs who whispers in the king's ear to tell him what to do. Yeah. I had a lot of poison dwarfs in the forms. I've got to do this. Yeah. And it wasn't even about the money. I mean, the money was great. There was because they kept offering me more and more money. And
this was to actually go on the show.
Yeah. And I was like,
that's big ratings.
It was a great interview, to tell you the truth, but it's still Jeremy Kyle.
Yeah.
And why are we bringing Jeremy Kyle up? We went off on a tangent.
Well, I think you mentioned it. We were just talking about
I can't remember why I've gone off on so many tangents.
Yeah.
We were talking about Katie.
Yes.
And
we were talking about Roxanne originally and all of that stuff. And
yeah. So, yeah. It was fun once upon a time. No, I'm not anti-Roxanne. She's not dead. She's just she's having a big sleep.
Yeah.
I just don't. You do different things. You have different tastes.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not a cross. I'm a happy.
Yeah. But do you feel sort of more comfortable? I don't know. Do you feel like your sexuality is a big part of like your identity because it's been dragged through the media so much?
Less now. And the thing is, I tried not to talk about it. I'm talking about it because we're on here. Sorry.
Yeah,
I tried not to talk about it because as an actor, you... Matt Damon said, he got chastised for this, as an actor, you want your sexuality to be as ambiguous as possible.
Sure.
So many people can believe you in as many different roles.
Yeah, of course.
But there is a complete double standard there, because if you're gay, you don't get straight parts.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but it's generally... Hollywood is still closeted in the sense, although it's run by the Pink Pound and, you know, instead of guys in charge of everybody shagging everybody.
Yeah. Have you had much experience in Hollywood?
No. No. I mean, I've been there, and I know the industry because I'm up for parts and things.
Sure.
I'll talk about that in a second. But the even though the gay producer, CEO of the director, they want their masculine alpha male hero to be known as a straight guy because they're still fearful of Middle America's backwards.
Sure.
You know, gays are, you know. Yeah, and
it's
changing.
Any openly gay Hollywood actors do all fit a stereotype of being a bit camp, a bit more feminine. You don't. Whereas in reality, you can have camp people who are gay, and you can have really masculine people who are gay. But none of the action heroes, even though statistically,
Gladiator and Alexander, the films.
Yeah.
Gladiator with Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Alexander with Colin Farrell. Gladiator was. It was a fiction. It didn't happen like that. I study history. I love military history, especially Alexander. Alexander, that was quite good because they played it. No, in fact, forget Gladiator. Let's look at Troy with Achilles,
with Brad Pitt.
He was a raving homosexual.
Almost all the Greeks were, yeah.
Well, they didn't even have the term.
Well, because they would have sex with the boys whilst they were at war.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
This is like pretty. This is all standard.
I mean, as a Spartan, from you were taken at 8 years old and you were buggered.
Yeah.
And so lovers fight side by side.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's pretty.
It was to like
by today's standards, it's pretty horrific. It's paedophilia.
Yeah.
But they're the most awesome fighting force in the world,
and it's all celebrated nowadays. You know, like the Spartans are celebrated, but they were paedophiles.
Yeah,
by today's
standards, absolutely. Now, Achilles, he was a straight guy in Hollywood.
Yeah,
in the last, whereas Troy, Alexander, it didn't flop or bomb completely. But it didn't do very well at the box office. It still got good figures, because they made Alexander very gay, and that's interesting. So that's a good take on how society works.
Was Alexander the Great documented as homosexual?
1,000,000%.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he had a wife called Roxanne.
Sure.
But I mean.
Or bisexual, I think, is most what people.
I mean, you weren't allowed.
Sexuality wasn't a.
Obviously, the Spartans, you weren't allowed a woman to serve in the army. Yeah. Lovers would fight side by side, so you would fight harder.
Yeah,
and also, this is interesting. Women were encouraged to have as much sex as possible because with your friends.
Yeah,
and it was consensual because they're a fighting force. They need more babies.
There's also a lot of stuff with. Have you read a book called Sex at Dawn? It's a really interesting book about polygamy and monogamy and stuff like that, and nuclear families, whether evolutionarily or whether it's in our nature to have monogamous relationships, which is like a lot of tribes, either historically or tribes that are still around today. The women would have sex with multiple men on purpose, so the knowledge of who the father was completely unknown. Because if you're in a small community and there's a baby, and 20 people could be the father, they all look after the baby, right?
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds, even to now, that sounds intrinsically wrong.
It does, but that's the society that we
logically, that sounds right.
Yeah.
In my head, that sounds right. In my heart, that sounds wrong.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
It's interesting.
Excuse my language.
But had you spoken to those people and said, in London, in the UK, or in America, in the Western world, in the forward-thinking Western world, you just have sex with one person for the rest of your life, and they'll go, but then no one else in the community would help you raise the child. They wouldn't. They would know that it's not theirs, and it would seem wrong to them.
Isn't it funny? And we're even more advanced to some places in the world. We're still getting homosexuals are thrown off mountains and it's persecuted. And I think where I've become a champion for LGBT, and I didn't even want to be this person.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the martyr. Puts my head above the parapet to get it chopped off, but I kind of have. And as someone who believes for evil to exist, a good man does nothing. As someone who was once a soldier for the fight for freedom and democracy, what, by killing kids in other countries? Nah, that doesn't work. If I can help I do a lot of motivational speaking, and as an actor, I think it's the biggest medium, bar none, to change and influence society. My job as an actor, as a filmmaker, is to nudge souls. Wake up, mate. What are you doing? I'm going to tell you this story, and it's going to think of it what you will, but it might just make you think about what you're doing in your life. Yeah, this is the biggest transformational tool, and for me, it's now that's what I'm all about. Yeah.
So you mentioned acting. Let's go back a little bit. How did you get into acting? When did you know that you wanted to become an actor?
When I was about the first role in a nativity play. Were you in a nativity play?
I'm sure I was at some point.
I was of Wise, one of the three kings.
Yeah, I think everyone seems to be one of the three kings. I don't think I've ever met anyone who was Jesus. I guess it would have been Jesus. They're a baby.
Really good, yeah. And then the second one, I was the angel Gabriel.
Okay.
I was like, this is pretty cool. But that's a girl. I'm not a girl. No, Angel Gabriel's a man.
Yeah.
And then I was an ugly sister, my first bout of cross-dressing. I was like, oh, God. I wasn't into it then.
Start to plant the seeds.
Oh, God. I was like, here we go. But then I was Saint George, and I was the star of the show, and I did really well. And because the show did so well, it was a school play. They put it on about 3 or 4 times.
Really?
I loved it. I was like, I want to be an actor.
The adulation?
Absolutely loved it. Okay. I mean, I've just finished 2 plays.
Really?
Among other things. And acting, though, for me at the moment is feast or famine.
Yeah.
But let's go back.
Because you went to acting school?
I went to the Guildford School of Acting.
At what age?
At 24.
Okay.
I didn't feel like I was a proper actor, so I was going to recently.
So you did some work?
I've done lots of work. Yeah. So I'll be fast forward and I'll go backwards. So I've done lots of plays, acting, blah, blah, blah. I went to Let me do it chronologically. I do lots of plays and stuff. I go to sixth form and study theatre studies. I come out of the sixth form. I join a TA, and at the same time, while I'm in a TA, I join an extra acting agency.
Okay.
So, and extras, the films always want soldiers.
Yeah.
I was really good at it. So one of the biggest things I got, actually, I was always the kid on set who was listening to the director if he wanted someone a little bit extra, because I wanted to be more than an extra.
Sure.
I was just a pretty face. I was doing a bit of modelling as well at the same time. And I'm like, if I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. So I started to, they could see that, my keenness. And I formed friendships and just that passion. I became a regular extra on Soldier, which was a great show. And the same crew that took Soldier, because Saving Private Ryan, that's the wife again. Because the same crew went on to film Saving Private Ryan, they knew I was there, and I had to have the exact same measurements and look just like him from the back, because he was fit at the time as Tom Hanks.
Well, I heard about this. You were body double for Tom Hanks.
I was his body double.
So I'm assuming you were a lot smaller than you are now, because I know that it was a while ago, but I'm not sure Tom Hanks has the same body as you.
He didn't then. I had a press-up competition with him.
Yeah?
And he beat me.
Did he?
He won $60.
No way.
I remember the assistant director, director of photography, bet me I couldn't, because he took an eye to me. And he, not in a sexy way.
Yeah.
And he said, I bet Tom can't beat you. And Tom Hanks beat me in a press-up competition. So after that, I guess, as you do, I was having dinner with Vin Diesel.
Wow.
Or lunch. It's just blasé, because I was meeting all sorts of people. My first extra film, actually, was with my hero.
Yeah.
I was a judge.
And who was it with?
Roll down your weapons. I'm prepared to be judged.
Oh, really?
I am the law.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone.
Wow.
Rocky. So I mixed with lots of different people, and anyway, but I was in it as an extra. I thought I was big time then.
Sure.
There I am, and you saw me walk across the screen in about 30 seconds. And
That's pretty cool, though, to be hanging around with those sort of superstars in the big movies.
Very cool. Yeah. But it becomes blasé. And then, so I, having dinner at lunch at Vin Diesel, I said, I've had enough of just being a pretty face. Just go to acting school. So I went to acting school. Left there, went to acting school.
Vin Diesel told you to?
Yeah.
Okay.
He told me about him working as a bouncer, not having much money. And he went to acting school and then he
became Vin Diesel.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
So I went to acting school, and we know a mutual friend, my friend Ben Woolrich, who trains at Mill Hill. Because I occasionally train at Mill Hill.
Yes.
Jiu-jitsu, and where you're one of the instructors. One of my buddies, Ben, he I'm going to tell you some interesting stories here. I went to acting school, and they told me to stop fighting.
Okay.
So I need to concentrate purely on my on my acting, because I was so obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And I remember being a poor acting student. And halfway through the first year, I needed to make some money, and I got off this fight with this guy called Lee Murray.
Yeah,
who's a pretty tasty.
Any old school MMA people will recognise that name big time. If you didn't, he was a savage.
Yeah, he was. He knocked out everybody, and he said he was going to cut me like a knife through butter and pick me up. And I don't know if I'm sure he wouldn't say this, but I was told he was going to rape my girlfriend.
Jesus Christ.
That was said by my corner to try and rile her. And it worked because I won the fight. Anyway, a riot started.
Yeah,
and someone threw CS gas in the ring.
No,
and we were jumping out of the ring. There
was brawls outside the ring.
I got hit over the head with a chair.
No way.
I remember running. They went, "Reid, run!" I had a mob. His mob come at me, and I ran through all these chairs, and I ran past
straight out the cage.
No, it was a ring. It was a ring.
Sorry, straight out the ring, in your gear and everything.
You can actually Google this.
I will find it. Yeah.
And it was in the audience. I ran past Phil Mitchell. I thought, hey, I was actually quite impressed because Phil Mitchell was there.
Yeah.
And he was in TV and stuff. And then guess what? A few years later, I was.
Wow.
Well, I was on Hollyoaks, wasn't I? So I left that. I left acting school. I come in the next day. Sorry, I come in the next day with all these batters and bruises.
Yeah.
What happened to you? I fell off my mountain bike. You haven't been fighting, have you?
No, never.
So while I did the rounds and after about a year of being out of work from acting school, I landed a role in Hollyoaks, which was a curse because you're a pretty face that can't act. I did that for about a year. And funny, I gave up fighting. I had my last professional fight on a Sunday, and I was filming on the Monday.
Wow.
That was, excuse my effing stupid.
Yeah.
Could you imagine it?
I
would have, thank goodness I knocked the guy out quickly.
Really?
Oh.
If you got messed up there, you'd be in trouble.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I would have got out of that one.
Yeah.
I'd already
fell off your bike again.
Yeah.
Really need to get rid of this bike.
I already would have done. Have you? Yeah, and then I left Hollyoaks after about a year, and I did a couple other dramas, and I didn't work for years. Yeah. And I've always missed the fighting.
Yeah.
And even though I've had 300 competitions, I've only had 2 fights.
Yeah,
I've had two or three street fights in my life.
Okay,
but in the cage, I've only had 2 real fights.
Yeah.
Fights.
Yeah,
I wanted to kill him. One was Lee Murray.
Yeah.
And one was a gentleman you've had on this show.
Go on. Oh, Tom Watson.
Tom Watson.
And I was there.
Yeah,
I watched that live.
Other than that, I've always been
pretty chill.
Yeah, well, no, not chill.
You weren't taking it seriously?
I was taking it very seriously,
okay.
But it's still a sport and entertainment. Sure. And
so there was like a real tangible attitude change between those 2 fights.
I wanted to kill him.
Really?
And that protected me and gave 2 very exciting fights.
Well, the Tom Watson fight is... it may still be the most viewed fight in UK history because I believe it was on Channel 5.
Yeah,
it was on terrestrial television.
I don't know what I mean, but what about people like I'm proud of that, and I'm trying to not knock myself off the top spot. But what about Bisping versus
but those weren't
Silver?
We
got just under 1 million views, but I mean on a non-terrestrial channel.
That was 1 million views on UK million views, right? I don't think that any of
it started trending around the world, that fight, and I'm proud of that.
It was massive
because of that. People didn't really know what MMA was. I brought it to.
You brought a lot of eyes there,
and because of that fight, and they saw this. I mean, I was doing Big Brother. I'd done Big Brother.
You were massive at that point. You were with Katie at that point. I remember.
I'd pulled out of the fight, and I generally had an injury. I was filming a show. Alex Reid, the fight of my life, and I got injured in Eric Paulson's gym.
Okay, in California.
In California, and obviously Tom
they roll hard at Paulson's gym.
Used media. I think it was something silly as well.
Really?
It wasn't even something. It was just something really and my knee was bust.
Yeah.
I actually had to go and have a plaster on it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a pussy. All this sort of stuff in the press, and it just put it back for 6 months and made the hate even more. And I wasn't fighting Tom.
Yeah, you're fighting everyone else.
The media.
Because you were expected to lose.
Yeah,
you were expected to lose.
I'm a pillar of the mixed martial arts community. He was wanting to fight me.
Yeah.
For many years, and I was turning no because I was the man, and then I sort of got very soft and silly, and then.
Well, it was a massive fight, and I think that you subverted a lot of expectations.
How many bloody fights have I had? I mean, I didn't train as hard as I could have done for that. I was only did really 2 months of training.
That was like in the peak of the celebrity, though, wasn't it?
It really was. Yeah. I mean, I was in Vegas. I come out of Big Brother on a Friday. On a Monday, I was getting married in Vegas.
Wow.
And I was in Vegas for 2 weeks. I come back from Vegas and I started training 2 days later in India on this TV show, getting smashed by all these Indian top MMA fighters. Yeah. And I'm like, what's going on here? I've just been partying in Vegas.
It's a wild ride.
How am I supposed to train? Yeah. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's surreal.
So let's talk about Big Brother, because obviously that's, you know, a crazy part of your life and a significant part. So how long ago... What year was it that you went into the Big Brother house?
2009.
Okay. So at that point, were you already with Katie?
Yeah.
So you were with her already?
Oh, actually, not entirely. I'd gone over to... she was in the jungle. And I'd gone over to be with her when she came across the bridge.
Okay.
And...
this was before Big Brother.
A story broke out in the press that I was going over to propose to her live on air. Although I'd already proposed to her.
Okay.
And I was like, so she split up with me live on air. I remember getting a call.
This was.
I'm in.
Okay.
Where's it? Sydney Opera House. I was in Sydney.
Yeah.
Meeting film producers for some films. I was rolling with some good players. I was like, things were going. This was off my own back.
Yeah.
This is where I was. I was doing good shit. You know.
Yeah.
With an assistant film producer, and I remember getting a call in the morning, missing a call, shit, and I saw she'd said text, must call me, and I tried to call, I couldn't call. Oh, it's engaged. It was about 7 o'clock in the morning, but in England it would be about 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
whenever the show was on.
Yeah,
I then got a call. Started getting a call off my mum. Oh, you all right? Yeah. What's going on? Oh. And then I got loads of texts. Oh, we're here for you, mate. We love you. Are you okay? We all love you. Like,
yeah.
What's going on? Mum, she just split up you live on air.
What?
Wow. And
so what had she done? Had she just said...
She'd been in the van driving to the interview after she crossed the bridge, and Michelle Heaton was talking to her saying I'd done an interview in the News of the World saying that I was going to propose to her live on air.
Which you didn't do?
No. I'd already proposed to her months before. She said yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why would I do that? And I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. So I was voted the best way to split up with someone in the world in 100 best ways to. I won that prize.
Yeah.
I also won the best worst celebrity wedding.
Okay.
I won 2 on these Channel 5 programs.
Was that your
I haven't bothered collecting the prizes. I was like,
was that the wedding that Katie? So how was the wedding? So wait, okay, let's hit the timeline. You were with her when she went into the jungle. She broke up with you live on air after she came out of the jungle. Then you went into Celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah. And guess what? I was 41 odds to win.
Yeah.
And someone who was...
I remember they booed you going in.
Someone who'd been like actively seeking other people all of a sudden wanted to come out. And I was besotted by her.
Yeah.
And I was madly in love.
Yeah.
And literally mad.
Yeah.
I'm not mad anymore.
you know, firstly, what was the Big Brother experience like? Because it seems bonkers.
I call it LSD.
Yeah. Was it just like a massive trip?
This is real. I mean, I've done LSD in the past 20 odd years ago.
Yeah.
experience, but only once.
Yeah.
And all I can think of is life wasn't real.
Really? Well, it's not real.
How could it be? I mean, forget about, we're talking about the Matrix. So in this right now, let's try and talk about all that. Forget about that hocus pocus stuff. Let's be real now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home in a minute and gonna talk to the missus, and that's real, right? Yeah. That's real. It wasn't like life was real.
Yeah.
I'm on the front cover of newspapers every single day.
Yeah.
Everyone, people walk down the street, everyone knows me.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember running through the park and everyone from a morning run, and the football team stopped and they started the whole park, I was like, it's lovely.
So this was not even just in the Big Brother house. This was like when you came out of there.
No. Sorry, beforehand I was not liked. Because all the bad press, I became enemy number one.
Yeah.
And at that time, the ex was very popular.
Yeah.
Or maybe she was. So she had a lot more popularity than she does now.
Yeah.
And what happened? I was just thought, got to be careful with certain things I say.
Sure.
I just thought legal cases. Look, this is all time immemorial. This has happened.
Yeah.
So, where were we?
Celebrity Big Brother. I want to know what it was like.
I've got legal, so every now and again I
just want to know what it's like being in that house.
There's a little voice in the back of my head saying, "What are you saying?" Yeah, just in case. What in the house? So, in the house.
Yeah.
Surreal.
Yeah.
Surreal. It didn't seem, but it was one of the most peaceful places in my current existence.
Because there's no social media, there's no phones.
No phones. All you have is interaction with other people.
How it should be.
And that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, it drives you crazy not knowing what's going on.
Who are you in there with?
My mate, Vinny.
Yeah?
Love, hate.
Yeah?
He's a bully.
Yeah?
I remember he was such a bully.
Yeah.
Horrible to me. And I'm like puppy dog.
Sure.
And then one day I switched.
Yeah.
How many?
Yeah.
It's fucking. Oh no! And all of a sudden he completely switched.
Sure.
And I thought,
well, that's what a bully does. They're going to push you a little bit, and then as soon as they can't bully you, they're not interested.
I was in there with someone called Dane Bowers.
Okay.
He had a few bruises on him.
Yeah.
He fell down some stairs at a party.
fell off his bike. Yeah.
The night before. Yeah.
And how long were you in there for?
I was in there with my mate Stephen Baldwin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He got me in some wrestling moves.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to hurt him. I mean, he actually got me good. He got me good. When you get pinned good, I mean, like I'm like, oh, all right.
He was legit.
Yeah, he was actually good.
Yeah.
Do you know? He told me. He said, "Get rid of Katie. Go and get Ivana.
Yeah.
She'd be good. Ivana Trump.
Yeah.
Alex.
In hindsight, that would have been a good shout.
It's not rocket science, Alex. Who else? Cisco.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mate Bass Hunter. Stephanie Beecham from Dynasty.
Yeah.
It's a good
lineup.
It was a good lineup. I mean, I thought really good lineup.
Yeah. And then what was one? Did you ever expect to win that? I don't know how. It's not like going into an MMA fight. It's not like going into a contest.
So it wasn't so much. I wasn't going to go in the day before. I wasn't going to go in. I had a mind coach, not NLP, EFT, hypnosis kind of dude, and was like, he was helping me. He helped me through all my fights because it's not as much as I'm a robot, I'm still a human being, and I want to make all my faculties work. We used the same tactics. Yeah. As an ex-soldier, as an ex-athlete, I strategized.
Yeah.
I had a plan, and I prepared. I didn't know exactly who was going in. I knew who was supposed to go in. So I started preparing, and just what I did more than anything, every day, I believed in myself. Yeah. And I worked on myself and being me. And even the day before, and I've spoken to Dennis Fleming, who's my then mind coach. I don't want to go in. I don't want to be famous being famous. Yeah. But Alex, you've got to go in. I'll tell you why, because everyone's got a wrong attitude of you. I was 40-1 odds to win. I was booed, hated. I remember saying, I want to turn these boos to cheers. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. Well, I got the highest vote ever in the history of Big Brother. Really? 20 million votes. Wow. It's pretty impressive. And I still get, I mean, they'd not really talked about it because two of my exes have been on it and won it. Yeah. The Big Brother got a bit funny about me. Yeah. I mean, that's not the official stance, but I've had a blacklist on me in the media. Undoubtedly because of certain people's pulling power. Sure. And I'm not as... and also in the tacky celebrity magazine media, men don't get a fair shout.
Sure.
I haven't done anything that I'm actually ashamed of. I don't think I have. When I was a child, I bullied a little girl when I was, and I hate, and like that to me pains me, and I've apologised to her, and she's got no problem with it. Now I go back and I detest things I've done, but I've forgiven myself. I've not done anything sexually or anything to anybody that I'm actually embarrassed of, ashamed of. Sorry, I'm embarrassed because I don't know what you do in the bedroom, and I don't even want to know. Yeah. Sure, if we have a beer, you might tell me, but the whole world kind of knows what I've done.
Yeah.
And now it's trying. It's
a weird situation.
Trying to keep some mystery about it because I'm an actor, and I've been. I mean, by doing this sort of things, I've talked a bit about it, but it's all time memorial. It's things that I've done in the past.
Yeah.
So I might be reminding people, but it's so long ago, and we live in a different world. And I feel slightly proud for the fact that from some of the things I've done, I've become a champion for these sort of people. We're not just weird and wonderful people you would consider a cross-dresser or a tranny or anyone's gay, but just normal guys.
Yeah.
Because someone might think they're normal, don't do that stuff, but they might have a sexual kinky thought. Does that mean they're some sort of pervert? By just talking about it, and I don't really want to talk about it because it's affected my livelihood and my career. And people in my family have been bullied, and I want to protect my child from this sort of stuff. And I want to protect my future. But then at the same time, the dichotomy is I'm helping.
Yeah.
And I'll go back, and I'm going to cover it back. I'll go back to Matt Damon.
Yeah.
He had the power there there's a double standard. People should be as ambiguous about their sexuality and acting as possible. And you've got someone like Tom Hardy, most alpha male man in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Mad Max.
Yeah.
Is it doing the press launch? But Tom, weren't you gay? And so we didn't say that. He said, what relevance does that question have?
I remember that.
Very good answer. But then also, in his position, I think that was very clever. Yeah, I mean, he's had sexual relationships with men. He said, I'm a fucking actor. Of course I have. That was a long time ago. Now he has to look at his pocket, his livelihood and brand.
Yeah.
But he is in a position of power to knock it on his head. Yeah, and what if he said that? That's the kind of answer I would have given.
What's the relevance? Yeah.
But then I'm not Tom Hardy, and I haven't just got Vellum, multi-million dollar.
Yeah.
So maybe, but what you have to look at your life. What is it? What is life all about? And this is where he becomes spiritual again. I believe I'm a good actor. I've just did 2 plays. I'm in pre-production for 2 decent films. I've done some really good acting, and people when they see me, they're like, "Wow!" But I'm not getting the opportunities. I'm starting to. I haven't had the opportunities because of people's perception. So it's all about changing
and a misperception.
Misperception. And people judge jury and executioner before I've even got in the door. And that is what I'm trying to change. I have been I guess it's the paratrooper combined with Peter Pan. You know, we're going, and I'm only the paratrooper, you know, to protect myself.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I think, like I said before we even started, I think the fact that you can take ownership of all of the mistakes that you've made and like try and be like, look, I've done this, I'm not that person anymore, I'm trying to move forward. I think that's the most important thing, really.
I think that's what everyone needs to do. We're all a work in progress. I've not done anything. There have been things I've done with bad intent, but for 99% of the things I've done have been all with honest, true intent. It's been a bit prattish maybe occasionally, but that's not even. It's young and eager and not really knowing. Yeah, we all learn.
Absolutely.
We'll do silly things.
Absolutely. So, in terms of your MMA stuff, when was the last time that you fought?
That was a mistake. It was
because you had a massive break.
Yeah. And I went.
Was that when you were acting, or was that whilst you were in the extreme celeb?
So
age?
I did a load of drugs after all of this horrible crap happened to me in the media, as thinking it would I was having a time of my life, when ultimately it was escapism. That's a word that you've used quite a lot, and I think it's quite obvious that. You know, the combination of acting, fighting, and drugs are all things that take you out of
who you are day to day.
And you're numbing your senses, and you're like, you don't think you've got a problem. I wasn't. I mean, doing it every day or anything, but I was doing it like once a week for a couple of months, and that was like, wow, that's cocaine.
Yeah,
and it being now understanding spirituality and what's going on with my senses and my faculties, I understand how bad that is for me. But I'm not trying to be judgmental of myself as well. I've forgiven myself. I mean, there's much more worse things in the world. I was the only person I was hurting is myself. I turned back to fighting to get off drugs. Another form of escapism, without training.
Yeah,
I took loads of fights. I had about 3 fights. One after.
So you were just
it was that because I'm in a cage. I haven't got to deal with the pain of the media, of court cases, of being denigrated publicly, walking across a building site. You know, I don't have to go and fight the dickhead who's calling me a cross-dressing weirdo, and I can go and take it out, and I can prove that I'm a tough guy.
So this was like escapism purely for like the half an hour you were fighting.
Yeah, I'd go to I'd train a bit. Yeah. I didn't train anywhere like with the passion. Yeah. Thought I'd better train like a few times, but cutting corners. I mean, how I used to train, like just literally not even being there. It was like, this is having the shit beaten out. I mean, it's like, it wasn't. I don't enjoy I wasn't going there to get hurt. I wanted to win, and I won half. But I mean, if I had properly trained with the enthusiasm that got me in the first place, I would have been killing. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Yeah. And so that's very sad. And so I gave up, and I thought, I'm not going to do that anymore. And then 2-year hiatus, and 3 years ago, I fought in Bellator. As a comeback, I thought, I'm going to take this fight. I'm going to show them all. I'm
trained for it?
I'm healed. I trained really hard. And do you know what screwed me up when I lost my fight? It was the media.
Really?
I had a whole media campaign. They said, right, what we're going to do? We did a deal with the Sun. And you talked about the Sun earlier on. Yeah. That's the first thing we started. I did a deal with a journalist, and I said, right, what we're going to do is we're going to make you sound like you're down and out. It's going to sound terrible. We're going to build you up. Just roll with it. I'm like, So he did this article in the Sun, and it was terrible. Like, Alex Reid, he's got nothing. This is who he is. He was here. He did all this, and now look where he is. This is his redemption. He's got nothing else left. I thought, all right, that's pretty shit, but we're going to build on it, and we're going to turn you into like the Rocky champion. It got worse. So I had 2 months.
They just straight fucked you?
Of denigration because it sold. And talking about my ex, I don't even want to talk about it. I mean, I talked about it here, but
you can tell you're not trying to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about. I don't want to mention it. I'm here to talk about me as an athlete, to remind people of the champion who trained diligently, who's worked hours, who've had over 300 contests around the world at the highest level, who put his heart and soul, passion, made mistakes. I'm okay with that, but not. It was just more and more crap. So I basically got to the fight. I was destroyed inside, and the promoters mucked me around. My fight was on. It was off. It was on. It was off. It was on. Even on the day. So they were like, I slept in the promoter's room the night before, and he come up drunk, and I'm like, what the fuck, mate? I've got to sleep. He told me to come to his room, come to the hotel, because I was going to sleep at home when I was around with my girl at the time, and I wanted to have a good night's sleep, but I should have stayed at home. So I didn't have a good night's sleep. And then he said, look, go to the change room, just relax. I'm really sorry. Go and chill out. I'll bring you a kit over. So I did that. You're on at 8 o'clock. At 5 to 7, I'll get the runner coming. Alex, you're on in 5. Well, what? I haven't got my kit. I take about half an hour to warm up, and I haven't even my hands wrapped. Yeah. That's what I was going to get ready. I haven't even got my kit.
Really?
My blood pressure instantly went through the roof. I had to run from the O2 next about 10 minutes to get back to the hotel. I can't remember what the Marriott or something next door to it. I got my kit, run back. I had a fight with the security guards in front of 100 people at the front of the O2 because they wouldn't let me back in. I'm on fucking in 5 minutes. Can you hear my name? And I run into my change room. John McCarthy, Alex. Alex, you're on in 5 minutes. I'm like, they've already pulled the whole show up for me. And I'm just managed to get my wraps on, and I've instantly calmed down. Right, okay, I'm on. I've got no warm up, no warm up. My warm up was fighting with the security guards.
Yeah,
and I walk out, and no mental preparation. You know, from how crap is that? And I fought, and I went the distance because I'm tough.
Yeah,
I mean, he mounted me, but he didn't finish me, and I mounted him a couple of times. Just the head wasn't on. It's not physical; it's mental at that level.
And that was your last fight. That was 2 years ago.
And it hurt me more to throw a kick.
Yeah,
3 years ago. 2016. It hurt me more to throw a kick than to take one because of the hips. And I'm a kicker. I remember throwing in the gym, and the old robot with the remote and my trainers with the remote control, they were telling me to throw a kick, and every time I did, I was like, I couldn't walk properly. I'd be sparring. I'm gonna get beaten up by a 16-year-old. I thought, what is going on? And he's a stud. He fights. He's going to be a champion.
Yeah. What's his name?
It'll come to me in a second.
If anyone wants to know, they can just check your record.
Yeah. He's not. He's yeah.
So after that fight, did you make a conscious decision that was going to be your last one?
No, I'm going to come back.
You're going to fight
it all again. I'm like, who am I kidding? In denial. Let's be real. I remember speaking a year later, and I get offered some fights.
Do you ever have the urge to fight again?
Oh yeah. And my missus said, "Why do you want to fight? You're not going to make any money. I make a few quid, but is it worth it for what you concentrate your energy? It's egotistical." And I said, "You're absolutely right. It's not about. I mean, now I've got a child. I want another child. You want to pay for a mortgage. You've got bills to pay. How much time am I actually going to making this money?
Yeah.
If it's going to provide for my future, if I had a gym, and
if it had any benefit,
no,
it doesn't really.
Yeah, my ego.
Yeah, that's literally it is. Yeah,
and I'm like, that's not
a good enough reason.
That's not being a man.
Yeah.
So now I know what being a man is. Man is being providing for your family or providing for keeping up your honour and doing good for other people. But for me, that would be purely egotistical.
Yeah.
So that goes against my ethos. I mean, that's something I've grown up in that respect. So that makes me feel good.
Yeah. Because I think Lee Murray still wants to fight you, doesn't he?
I don't think he does.
I saw an article from like 2 or 3 years ago.
I'm sure he does.
I'm not sure if he's ever. For those who don't know,
we're friendly.
Lee, do you speak to him at all?
I don't. I mean, is he in prison still?
He's still in prison. So for those who don't know who Lee Murray is, he
56 million reasons.
53. He was part of the £53 million Securita heist. Fled to Morocco because he had Moroccan heritage, so wouldn't be extradited back. Then got caught in Morocco with drugs and got thrown into prison. And I think he got a 25-year sentence. I think. So
we're teammates.
Really? You're both shoot fighters?
Shoot fighters. Yeah. We weren't when we fought.
Sure.
And
did you train with him afterwards then?
Yeah. I mean,
that's like one of my dream interviews is sitting down with Lee Murray inside a Moroccan prison.
He broke my orbital in the gym.
He hit hard.
About a year later.
He hit hard.
After I beat him. I think that was delight. So, right, I'll tell you who the boss is. I remember driving to the hospital with one eye like this.
Yeah.
And they kept me in overnight to have me CT scans. It was that bad.
Why is it bad?
Blew my nose and my eye popped out.
Fucking hell.
Cheers, Lee. So we're friendly. I mean, I can't imagine he'd want to do that. I mean, lots of bad things are said, which I've not said. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine if people shit talk. And
continuing on with the whole MMA thing to... For the old school MMA fans out there, you were at UFC 38, right? You didn't fight, but you were at the Brawl at the Royal Albert Hall.
Oh, my God.
Yeah?
Do you know who I sat next to?
Go on.
Guy Ritchie.
Did you? I know Guy, yeah.
You know him, do you?
Yeah, he trains at Rogers, yeah.
Oh.
Well, he doesn't train at Rogers anymore, but he spends most of the time in New York.
He's a black belt now, isn't he?
He is a black belt. I'm hoping to get him on the podcast when he's got a little bit of time in between movies.
It's really weird. I didn't really speak. I said hello. I wasn't starstruck. I didn't really.
He's a cool guy. I like Guy. Yeah.
Was I doing a Hollyoaks then? When was that?
It was a while ago.
Was it? What year was it? Was it 90s or was it?
No, 2000 something.
Okay.
Maybe 2007 or 8.
Wow.
I think so. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I'm just guessing. But did you see the infamous brawl between Lee Murray and Tito Ortiz? So, was this at the after party?
he wasn't a happy bunny.
No.
At Lee.
This was the after party?
We were friendly because at this point, and he was talking to him. And I thought, no. Listen, I'm a martial artist and a competitor and an athlete. I'm not a fighter, and he's a
fighter.
I mean,
Lee is a fighter.
Scary dude.
He's a scary dude.
I mean, if I have a reason and a cause, I could go to war. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
He's scary, and I have to have purpose. But he's one of these people who's naturally got it.
Yeah, he's a fighter. So was that? This was at the after party. Yeah. Because what I've heard, I've not spoken to. Oh, really? I've not spoken to anyone who was at this. But
remember Chuck Liddell taking his watch.
This is one of the most. So I heard
Chuck Liddell, bang.
Chuck Liddell was in the corner just dropping people.
Miletich.
The Miletich and Tim Sylvia, Matt Hughes. So go on, tell me what happened. I've been wanting to talk to someone who was there for years.
Yeah. It's unreal. It was like, I mean, if you want to get popcorn. Give
me all of it.
This was like, wow. I mean, he was upset. He was angry. I was a dick as well to Tito, and I should apologise to him. I'm sure
he deserved it.
I respect Tito. I mean, he came up to me and his belt on, and I was like, "Who are you, mate? Who are you?" I'm Tito Ortiz, but I'm like, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm like, "Why did I do that?" I mean, I knew exactly who he was. I was trying to be like a prick.
Hey, look, if someone's walking around a club with their UFC belt on, they deserve to get a little bit of ridicule.
I was being a dick. I mean, why did I do that? That's not nice of me. Anyway, but obviously someone else later, my mate, he wasn't too happy with him. And
Lee.
Yeah, long story short, he popped him.
Yeah. He sucker punched him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bang. Yeah.
He dropped him?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. He was like he was like something else though. I mean, he threw like 3 people off him.
Really?
Tito.
Yeah.
3 people, and he was like, "Wah!"
So did this kick off like a whole brawl in the club?
Outside.
It was outside?
I only got the end of it. I mean, I was like, what's going on? And there's something real. I saw Chuck Liddell right cross, left hook.
Yeah.
And put his watch back on. I'm like, what's that all about? It's fucked up. Man,
he was a badass.
Oh man, that was before. I think him at that point, him and Tito were friends.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
That's like an iconic moment from MMA history.
And everyone scarpers afterwards.
Really? Everyone just pegged it.
Yeah. Well, that did well for Lee.
Yeah.
He beat my nemesis, Jorge.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Because I went against Jorge in a stupid red pants as a bidet.
Sure.
And I got stopped. It's the only time I've been stopped.
Really?
Ever.
Wow.
Jorge Rivera.
Wow.
I was scared.
Was it submission?
I was scared. No, he dropped me.
Oh, really?
It didn't. It wasn't out. I got up and they said, "No, done." It's like.
Yeah. Any other good memories from that the listeners would appreciate from back in the day, old school MMA times? I'm sure you've got plenty.
Well, I have. I've got lots.
Yeah.
But just trying to legal reasons. I mean, I remember Lee used to come. We used to have Nando's after training.
Yeah.
This is after we've had our battle and we're friends. And he'd talk about the things he'd done that week, knocking someone out or guillotining someone.
He used to fight bouncers, didn't he?
Yeah. And I'm like, it was of having gun battles.
Really?
And I'm like, anyone else you'd think is bollocks.
He got stabbed outside a club, didn't he?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a story.
Okay. Please tell me you were there.
I wasn't.
Okay, but you heard about
James Zikic.
Yeah.
Another London shoot fighter.
Yeah.
Very awesome. Fought in UFC. Fought, who did he fight? I can't remember. Jeremy Horn. He, on a Thursday night at about 12 o'clock at night, I get a call from James, who's big into Jesus. He's gone.
Okay.
He's gone all Jesus.
He was at the time?
Yeah, big. Jesus was his to get him off drugs. He was like, and good for him. He went all Jesus, right? Say a prayer for our brother James, our brother Lee. He's just been stabbed. Oh no! I phoned him up straight away. What's going on, James? Yeah, Lee went down to Funky Buddha. Did some trouble with some of the people down there.
Yeah,
and they stabbed him. Oh no! Yeah, and I thought about going to see him, but I thought it probably wasn't the best time. Okay, I thought about it for a week, and I saw he was all right. He'd recovered and stuff, and. Okay, that was the end of that. I thought I don't need to go and see him. He's okay, Same time, the exact same time, a week later, I get a call from James, a text message. Say a prayer for Rob. The same text. I went, James, you sent me the same text you sent me last week. Oh no. He come out of hospital. He's gone back there and he's got stabbed again.
No. He went straight back to the same club.
Yeah.
And he got stabbed by the same guy again.
I don't know about the same guy, but he got stabbed by crackheads.
Fucking hell.
I mean, it's made you realise that it doesn't matter how big and tough you are. There's those 8-stone crackheads.
Yeah, probably stop going to Funky Buddha as well.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what they were doing in terms of. I don't want to.
Sure.
There's I don't know.
I'm sure there's more to the story than that.
In that world, I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you what I know.
Yeah.
And I generally I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because I'm sure there is more to that story, and I might even have this wrong. So I apologise if I've got it wrong. This is what I've heard because I wasn't there. I've heard this secondhand from other people who were there.
Yeah.
So he'd gone back and he got stabbed in the heart and he died a few times.
Yeah, I did hear that actually.
And now this is the really crazy shit, right? I see Lee in the gym about 2 months later, and he's all quiet and like, it's like his soul was trying to reboot, and all spiritual dude here. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Like, he's seen some stuff because he's died 3 times and come back, and it's like, oh, what are you gonna do now, Lee? You know, I was saying, would you ever do some crazy fights? Maybe even throw a fight like they did. I'd never throw a fight. I said, imagine you're like, you know, they used to do in New York, you know, Gardens. Was it? You're gonna Rocky Marciano, that sort of thing. Yeah, you're poor, you're destitute, you want to feed your family.
Yeah.
Reid, I'd never do that.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? Rob a bank.
And you laughed.
I said, mate, you can't rob a bank in this day and age. You can if you know what you're doing. That's the last thing I said to him.
Oh my God.
And a month later,
that was the biggest. It was the biggest heist in British history.
No, history of the world.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got arrested over that one.
Did you? Did you think they thought you were part of it?
Yeah.
Was it? It was other people from London Shoot as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not all gangsters.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I might have some of that story wrong.
Yeah.
And I apologise if I do, because it's so long ago, and that's as much as I know. I mean,
it's a crazy story, man.
Yeah,
it's a crazy
I
story.
don't know what else went on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's whether he did rob a bank or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm waiting for his O.J. Simpson style, if I did it sort of book.
Well, I know that's going to make a good film.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a film one day.
Yeah, for sure.
Who's going to play me? Well, I'm not in it. I could be in it because I play Lee. I can't play Lee. He's a scary dude.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, the thing, and I've fought him.
Yeah.
I mean, I've kind of won on a technicality. Yeah, there you go. A technicality.
Yeah, was it DQ, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He kept turning his back.
Yeah.
And he's blaming that I was grabbing the ropes.
Yeah.
You know. But, you know, it was a tough scrap.
Yeah.
It was definitely no clear winner.
Yeah.
Regardless, and we had respect for each other
Sure.
after that. You know, because as whoever won, we'd beat the shit out of each other. And it's funny, isn't it funny? Someone you potentially hate and you want to kill, you get. It's very intimate. You get very spiritual.
Fighting is incredibly.
Same thing with Tom.
Yeah, fighting. You share something with someone. I think even the more emotion that you bring to it, actually, the closer you can become because of it. But you share a very special moment with someone when you're really fighting with them, especially in MMA. You know, it happens to a degree in grappling, but it depends on the situation. But in MMA, when you're having a real proper fight like that, like you had with Lee and like you had with Tom, you're sharing a moment in each of your lives that are significant, that no one else will ever understand apart from the person that you're standing up against trying to punch in the face.
Totally. Everyone I've fought like that, there's been a respect. Even if there's not, you don't potentially like each other.
There's a respect.
You do. You like, it's okay. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
How was Tom incidentally? Tom Watson.
Yeah, he's cool. I like Tom. He came down and he's come down and trained with me a few times, but yeah, he's a cool guy. I like Tom. He was
He's light now, isn't he?
Yeah, a lot smaller. Yeah.
Cruiserweight. Oh, sorry, welterweight.
Yes. Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know.
And he got poorly recently.
I think, I'm not sure if I got this right, because he had I think he told me on the podcast or afterwards, I'm not sure if it was public at the time, but he signed to Cage Warriors and he had a fight set up. And I believe that there was something with, in the medical, there was some sort of thing on the brain, and the doctor said he could fight. Again, I'm not sure if this is 100% correct, but they weren't so sure. And he's going, well, if you're not sure about this, I'm going to get more damage. He's being smart now, which you have to be when you get to that age. You know, you're thinking about your family, your career, or your brain. You got to be careful with that stuff. I think he thought, okay, you know, I need to actually take some time out and check on what's going on. So I don't know the situation of it, but hopefully he's okay firstly, and hopefully if he wants to continue fighting, he gets cleared to fight and he can do that again. Yeah. But I'm not
would you ever do MMA?
I don't know.
Do you ever do any striking?
I got into jiu-jitsu to do MMA. That was always my intention. I just loved MMA and watching all the old UFC fights and stuff like that. So I got into jiu-jitsu.
Do you ever do striking now?
Very, very little. My goal was my
ground and pound. You'd be good at that.
Oh, that I'd be great at.
Yeah,
that'd be great at.
What's your wrestling like?
I'm training a bit of wrestling now, so it's getting better very slowly. Yeah. But I got into jiu-jitsu to do MMA. My plan was to train jiu-jitsu for a couple of years to get it to a good standard, then incorporate. You know, by the time I get to 16, 17, start to incorporate some striking, which I started to do. But the problem was, by the time I got to sort of 17 and 18, when I started going to striking classes and getting striking training done, I was really into the jiu-jitsu. So I didn't want to stop training jiu-jitsu.
What is this?
To train. What's this?
What is this?
I don't know, man. Jiu-jitsu.
Where did that come from?
Do you know where it comes from? Do you know where it comes from? It comes from surfing. It's a hang 10 for surfing. But
hang 10? What does that mean?
So it's just like I don't know.
What's this?
That I know. Do you know where that comes from?
Victory?
That comes from, or allegedly. Exactly. The French used to cut the English fingers off. Where's that from?
Hello, sir. I'm going to show you my eyes.
Oh, really? Yeah?
Knight in shining armour.
Yeah?
This is Reid. This is... before I kill you, I'm going to show you my eyes.
This is everyone listening to this and not watching this is probably very confused because we're doing a load of hand signals.
So basically, I'm doing a salute. A salute is to when you raise your visor as a knight to show your eyes.
So I'm doing the two finger salute.
Yeah.
Which apparently was from
sit on it or swivel on it.
It was the French used to cut the bow fingers off of the English longbowmen. So when they would go to battle, they would all show their fingers, going, "We've still got our fingers, and we're going to shoot some arrows through you."
So bad. What does that mean?
It's just like anything. It's like a swear word, isn't it?
Is it a swear? Fuck you.
It's only as bad as what we put.
What's the age listenership to this?
I don't know. The average age.
I do apologise if I am swearing.
No, I swear. I definitely swear every episode, so there's definitely no issue there. Talking of fights, I have a few things written down. Talking of fights, you went on Gladiator, right? The TV show.
Gladiator. Yes,
did you get into a fight with one of the gladiators?
Cobra, a little bit, and it wasn't a little bit. He was. We were being friendly, and we were having a little tussle.
Yeah.
And then how it can testosterone.
Sure.
It can get a little bit more heated, and guess who come and stopped it?
Go on.
Wolf.
Oh, really?
He was like, "Look, boys, stop it! Come on, you're gonna stop mucking around. You're gonna hurt each other because like you're someone in wrestling or jiu-jitsu, and you've got a bit of an ego, hits you, and you're not hitting them back, and it goes." Was this? Did you do it back in the 90s or 98?
98, yeah. The original one.
It was
when it was massive.
Just around the same time as Saving Private Ryan.
Really?
I went to a lot of shows like that. I did about 3 TV shows like that.
Go on Wales.
What was it? Caught Red-Handed, which was, and I got selected to go on this show called Surprise.
Okay.
No, not Blind Date.
Okay.
Blind Date, yeah.
With
I didn't do it though.
Cilla Black?
With Cilla.
Really? You didn't do it?
No, because I would have been on. I was on Gladiators, and I was on Caught Red-Handed straight away.
Yeah.
Caught Red-Handed was before. Then I was on Gladiators, and I would have been on Surprise on the same night.
Wow.
What's the chance of that?
All airing on the same
They didn't
night?
even realise. They didn't even realise. And then they did. They that's why they...
Oh, they pulled you from Blind Date?
Yeah.
That's man. You've
I
had,
wasn't that fussed about it.
You've had it, yeah. I know. You've had such a crazy.
I wanted to be I wanted to be famous.
Well, this is the thing I was going to ask you. Like,
I wanted to be famous.
From what age did you want to be famous?
When did I play St. George? That was 8, 9.
So from that point,
that glory and adulation of the crowd. So that was it. It wasn't so much, and it wasn't for my sex life and salacious stuff, which it became. Yeah. It was of being famous. Like what's it? X on the beach or Sex on the beach?
Yeah.
All
Love
these
Island,
sort of
all that bollocks. Yeah.
And listen, I mean, I talk to people. We live in a society where we search for acceptance outside the whole time. What we're addicted, and I am, to my phone. Social media, and it gives you serotonin, dopamine, likes. You know, you want to feel, you want the likes, you want the ticks. Yeah, it makes you feel good. Yeah, and that releases chemicals. Yeah, and we're always looking for it outside. I'm trying to look for it inside now, and having that content of I'm enough. Yeah, and I have accepted myself. Like the whole sexuality thing was quite big for a while, and I accept myself. I love my lady. I want another child, and I believe in the family unit, and that's what I'm about now. And I like teaching. I don't really do much of it. I've just started a boot camp. Yeah, because acting is feast or famine. Yeah. As much as I love acting,
you're still acting. Yeah.
I am. I'm applying for things all the time. I've got another play coming up. I just did 2 plays, and I did a couple of sitcoms last year and 2 films. Yeah. But in the meantime, when that's not working, I avoid celebrity. I'm asked to do celebrity stuff all the time. If it's the right thing, I do it. I mean, the last celebrity thing I did was celebrity botched bodies. Okay. They where I've done my nose broken so many times. Okay, yeah. Like 20, 30 times. Wow. They only professionally twice. I've had 2 nose operations, but about 20 unprofessional ones.
What's that? Pencils in there and give it a good shake.
Well, if you see it, it's disgusting. The guy, he slices my nose and pulls it back, and he's chiseling it. He's hitting it away. I've never seen one like this. Yeah, it's gross, but it's great. I can breathe properly. Noses, I can breathe properly now. So I did that on Channel 5. You
did that on. You got your nose fixed on TV,
and I thought, okay, it's a $5,000, $6,000 job. Yeah. And they mentioned me as an actor and an athlete. Yeah. So I was like, I'm all right at that.
Take that.
They didn't mention anyone's name, didn't mention anything silly about cross-dressing. I'm like, it's so boring, cross-dressing. I mean, I haven't cross-dressed since I can remember, time immemorial. Yeah. I'm like, happy dressed. Yeah. And we're still going on about that. It's ridiculous. And what does it even matter? Yeah, it doesn't. I think that's you're the heterosexual guy who's had sex that's Daniel Strauss. Yeah, who's had sex in the missionary position. Yeah. Oh my God. He did 69 once as well. In 2008.
No comment.
He slept with someone in an airplane toilet. That's disgusting. No. I mean, do you know what I mean?
It's ridiculous.
It's but it's not. I mean, we laugh and giggle about it. Yeah, isn't it silly? And we make fun of people. When I'm going on that topic. I didn't want to talk about it. Who's the Jenner? Carly, not Bruce.
Yeah. Bruce.
Caitlin. He got absolutely ridiculed. I could see what he was doing way before. Yeah, I could see the telltale signs. Yeah. Surprise. Yeah.
But there was a joke on Family Guy about it.
There were so many jokes about it, and he's had so much abuse because of it, and it's not right. It's like, I'm an ex-paratrooper. We would laugh at anything. There's every racist joke. Nothing's inappropriate. Your best mate dies and you take the piss. Yeah. But there's not a single bit of malice. Sure, yeah. I mean, I can say the N-word. Yeah. And no problem. And all my black mates say, you mind it. Yeah. And I'm like, not a problem. But there's a way you say it. If I say filthy, dirty. Yeah. It's like you're swearing. It's the intent.
It's the intent behind it.
And I understand you have to protect you being PC.
Sure.
But it's ridiculous. You can be too PC. We're in a world of everybody gets offended by everything. Yeah. You know, and just you're mentioning the fame stuff, and I guess one of my biggest questions that I wanted to ask you was,
I think you've been involved in so much stuff. You did fighting, you did the acting, you've done the TV shows, you've done and then really threw yourself into the tabloid celebrity lifestyle, for lack of a better word, all the Big Brother stuff and everything afterwards. Is it what you expected when you first had this idea or this obsession in your head to become famous? Because you achieved what you looked to do, and once you got it,
no, didn't really know what I was going. You have a misconception.
Yeah.
Well, not a misconception. You have not a miss, because what is real and what isn't real. I thought it was something else.
Yeah.
I thought I would have be content and peace, and I don't have peace or content. I have anything far from it.
Yeah. And
so I'm like, wow. So what is life really all about? And this is part of my journey in this being in this vehicle called Alexander Reid, to try and understand what it's all about. And as Muhammad Ali said, he got all religious in his later years. He was saying that I've spent all this time doing my boxing, and I've probably got enough. This is around my sort of age. I've got probably the rest of my life now to start talking to God and find out what the rest of my life's all about. It's kind of not that I'm not a religious person one bit. And I mean, I'm not. I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
But I am fascinated by what goes on afterwards.
Yeah. So you asked me the question earlier. I guess I'll ask it back to you. What do you think happens when you die? Well, you think you get reincarnated?
I believe
hopefully not as a dog in China.
It could be.
Yeah.
I could choose to do that.
Yeah.
I actually could. And I had an argument, a row. I mean, I wasn't rowing with my family, and they said, "How can you explain war and famine and paedophilia and babies that die straight away?" Well, I said, unfortunately, I don't think it's not nice. It's not nice either. Why have all this suffering? But that's not fair. That's crap. I'm not. I think we choose sometimes. Our higher being chooses to experience the most horrific things. You might be a parent. You see your child die. That's your lesson. And that sounds, excuse my effing horrendous.
Yeah, it sounds fucked up.
But it's, we'll come and do it again. This physical pain. I asked every spiritual guru, I've had enough. I don't want to do it anymore. I want to go back. God, Supreme Creator, Mr. Universe, whatever you are, give me, I don't want to earn it. There's something in Kabbalah called bread of shame. I've been studying that recently. And the Kabbalah is basically, the theory is we were created and we had everything, but we didn't appreciate it. So we wanted to earn it. So we were then given, that's called bread of shame. You don't. And then we were then given life like we have it now.
Yeah.
You can go into the Adam and Eve story, the apple, sin, all that sort of stuff. There's many theories. What do I think that happens to get all that? I think we're in a reincarnation cycle here. Our beings are stuck here right now. We're higher entity beings. We've come away from the light, the supreme being, and we've decided we were physical, we were like etherical light beings of supreme power, and we decided to become carnate. We decided to become carnate to physical being. And the latest model with the RH blood type negative, I'm talking very crazy. Do you know about that?
Yeah.
The Adam and Eve and all that sort of stuff. There's many different. We're the latest beings on this planet, and I believe there's Lemuria, Atlantis. Do you know about that?
Yeah.
I believe these places existed.
These are ancient, highly evolved lost civilizations.
And the reason why we don't have the evidence is because they were vibrating on a higher frequency. What happened to the Aztecs or the Mayans? They just completely disappeared. I mean, I'm sure the first spiritual book I read was the Celestine Prophecy. Have you ever heard that book?
No.
When it's about coincidences, but there's no coincidence. Everything's meant to be. And basically, once you get to the Aztecs, the Mayans, they just disappeared. They just disappeared from the planet. They started vibrating on a higher frequency and disappeared, and people do. That sounds a bit weird and hippie, but.
You think that the Mayans ascended?
Yeah.
Really?
Long story short, whether you're physical, whether you're spiritual, regardless, there's still a spirit, which is the control unit. Okay, let's explain it like a car. You got a car, and you've got in the car, you've got the car, you've got the engine, and you've got the engine and the computer. The engine and the computer are the same thing. No, you've got the engine, you've got the computer, and you've got the human driving it. Right. So the car, the engine is our body, the computer is our mind, and the person inside it is our soul. So we have, I think, a soul which has decided to become carnate. We want to experience more. Our soul wants to experience more. But I think we're trapped here on this planet. I think there's some, and I think there's malevolent and benevolent higher beings, call them gods, angels, whatever you want to, and you can talk about Illuminati, the Nephilim, the Bilderbergs, and it goes on to different blood groups which are controlling the planet. And I generally believe there's so much control on this planet. I'm talking in very, very broad spectrum here, and there's so much more to this than I'm
reptile people.
All of that sort of stuff, and many.
You believe in that?
Many, yeah, absolutely. I think there's many different alien species on this planet. Really. Things we can't see affecting us, benevolent and malevolent, and they're fighting for us. And I think there's a reincarnation cycle, like a factory, to keep us here in this solar system, in this planet. There's a lot of stuff going on this planet. It sounds like a science fiction film. And I'm talking very broadly. There's a lot more in depth. I could go into this in great detail, but I'm trying to skim it in a very 2-minute analogy. We're kept here because certain powers that be are benefiting from us being here, rather than going off and being all over the universe and doing other things. So when we die, I believe we can leave the reincarnation cycle if we learn the right knowledge.
And that's what you're trying to do?
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do, ultimately. And I've talked very broadly there. I mean, there's a lot more depth, and I could go into much detail, but I've talked really quickly to try and skim over it. I've had enough. I'm awoken in so many ways. And there's some shit going down. I believe in Christ consciousness. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know about critical mass?
Yeah.
Do you know the 100 monkey syndrome?
No.
I don't know when again, if any listeners is going to go, shoot me down in flames if you know this. Briefly, there were scientists, I don't know if it's the 60s, 70s, or whenever it was, not that long ago. They were studying monkeys on one island in the South Pacific, or was it around, somewhere like that. On one island and on another island, they're 100 miles apart at the same time.
Yeah.
They discovered monkeys on one island, they started washing their banana. One monkey washed its bananas in the water to get the sand off it, and it tasted better. The other monkeys, that's a good, yeah. They started doing it. They were washing their bananas in the water to get the sand off it, so it tasted better.
Yeah.
When enough monkeys did it, all of the monkeys on the other island simultaneously started doing it. It's called the 100 monkey syndrome, and that means, because critical mass, basically they're connected. So when one person gets it, when enough people get it, everybody gets it. Sure. I've often had an idea, or there's a joke or something, and it goes round, and everybody seems to get it at the same time.
Yeah.
So listen, isn't that weird how that happens? I mean, before we had social media.
Yeah.
Now, critical mass, I really believe we can affect the whole. I believe in energy, and we can. You know about Reiki. I'm a Reiki master, incidentally.
Sure. You've trained in Reiki?
Reiki and Sekhem. Sekhem is the ancient Egyptian form. I went to Luxor and. I'm going off on tangents. We'll get there.
That's all right. That's all right.
So Reiki, for those who don't know, if they did tests where rice in a bowl, in 2 bowls, they'd give one bowl Reiki energy, and they left one bowl, didn't do anything to it. The bowl, I don't know the exact timeline, it started to mould, get mouldy. The bowl given Reiki didn't get mouldy and stayed great. So basically, we can give good intention.
Yeah.
We can make people. They've done experiments. Who's a scientist on water, giving good intention to water.
Sure.
They did it to plants as well. You talk to plants.
Yeah.
You have happy thoughts, happy feelings. And I know about this. Before I knew about Reiki, you could go into a room and you can cut the knife with touch the tension with a knife.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to go into those rooms. Now, I love myself and I feel so protected, and I have entities and beings protecting me in higher realms. that I can go in there, I can be the light, and I can be the guide to be peaceful. And that's what I want to do. I'm trying to raise everybody's vibration as much as possible, so we all vibrate on a higher frequency. And when we do that, critical mass, we will ascend. We will evolve. We're not there. We're living so much fear.
Yeah.
And guess what? One of those things, and I go, as much as I've gone on tangents, it's all coming back. Our pineal gland.
Yeah.
We're all connected, but we dumb it down with fluoride. And and there's part of me, my brain saying that's rubbish.
Yeah.
And we're talking a lot of crap, but it just feels right in my heart and my soul. How we're learnt to conform from an early age. At school, we go to school, we sit down to obey, to be factory workers. Yeah. We are so enslaved today by the monetary system, the banking system. We haven't got enough money. We all need to go to work. It's so much stress. I feel this stress all the time.
Yeah.
I've got to go and provide for my family. I need this. I need this item. We're not even in control of what we want, our thoughts, because we're so bombarded with all this information. So critical mass is about becoming aware, becoming free from this, and I'm such a rebel because I don't conform to anything. This is what gets me in trouble the whole time. In the media, with the law many times. Yeah. But there's no malice or nastiness. I'm trying to do for
comes from a good place.
Absolutely. And we need people like that, because if we didn't, we'd still be putting homosexuals in prison. Yeah. We'd still be cutting people's heads off. Yeah. We need continual reform. Look at what's going on with the LGBT movement, how much more it's free now. And from the prejudice and denigration I got to today. And that's because of critical mass. Yeah. Everybody thinks it's unacceptable now. We could talk about revenge porn. I'm not going to go there. Sure. But that's a big subject. But maybe you want to...
That's shaky legal ground.
Maybe we want to look at that in October.
Another time, yeah, okay.
That could be an interesting article.
Post ayahuasca, yeah.
And that's Acacia.
Okay.
So, where do I want to do? I want to. Maybe I don't want to escape this. Maybe this is the reason. When I get the option, when I'm dead, and I'm about to come back and do it all again, and get touched by the angel here, which they believe in Kabbalah, which wipes your memory, so you can appreciate it all again. Maybe I want to do it. Maybe I decide to come and do that again. Maybe I'm going to decide there's so many loved ones down here. There's so many people I need to come and help. People I've left behind. I need to go and... like my dad's here right now. Generally, I talk to him all the time. I might decide that, but when I'm gone, he can go. When everyone he knows in his physical incarnation as Bob Reid, when they're all gone, he can go off. I might decide to stay around in spirit form and help other people. But there's also, I believe there's a higher self. This is only half of me, or a fraction of me. There's a higher self somewhere else. I've come to experience. When I go off tomorrow night and I talk to God, it will be me. Maybe some other beings, entities, other friends and allies. I might decide to go off and do some more fun things. I might go and find heaven. That would be good. I often wonder, this is hell. Yeah. This is hell. This incarnation, and we're going on to Elon Musk. We're a hologram. Because, I tell you what, I wanted to ask you this. Okay. Have you ever had moments of sheer enlightenment and happiness? You think, oh, fuck me, that's what it's all about. And then you forget it all.
Yeah.
And you feel like you know it all, and then you're like,
I think dreaming's definitely a weird old thing.
We're not allowed or capable to comprehend that extreme ecstasy. Yeah. And that to me is like the glimpse of heaven or paradise. So maybe we are in some sort of hell. Yeah. I sound pretty hippie and weird here, but it just, that's what it feels like. And I still, as much as this is all great, I understand. Like, I'm not a jihadist who feels like this life now is worth something and it means something. I mean, I still want to make the best I can with what I've got right now, and have carnal desires and lusts. I still want nice things. It's not like, I don't need to worry about it because karma, I can, if I die now, I'll have a better life in the next life. I don't want to come back and do the next life. I've got this life here now, so let's enjoy it. I might decide, do you know what, I'm not going to go off to heaven. Heaven might be being Mitzi, my cat. It might be.
Yeah.
I have to think this is what goes on Alex Reid's head.
Yeah.
Does that sound crazy? Please tell me if that does.
Crazy is a subjective term, you know.
To average Joe.
People sounded crazy for. People were called crazy and ridiculed in times where today they're accepted as geniuses. So
yeah.
I think for every, you know, my beliefs don't necessarily line up with your beliefs, but I respect that. There's no reason why my beliefs are any more real or more real than yours.
Absolutely.
I think that doesn't just come down to your spirituality or your religion, or that generalizes over any of your beliefs, whether as long as they come from a pure place. And I think as long as you're willing to be open and understanding of other people's beliefs, as soon as you say I believe in reincarnation, and if you don't believe in reincarnation you're stupid, as soon as you say that, then it becomes, you know, you have a belief and you're not being accepting of others. I think as long as you're accepting of others,
and for all else fails, I'll go back to what Jim Carrey said. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
none of it matters.
Yeah, I love it, man. Dude, we've done 2.5 hours.
I'm gonna get told off by the missus. Brad, give me some knuckles.
Awesome, brother. Thank you very much.
I really enjoyed it. It was nice to chat and get into your head and learn some things as well. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yeah. And if anyone wants to come and check out my new boot camp in Mill Hill,
yes,
because we are sitting here in Mill Hill as we speak.
Absolutely.
How big is your Mill Hill audience here?
I would say there's a good few number of people.
Mill Hill Boot Camp. It's at Mill Hill Park every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 to 8 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 9:30 to 10:30 a.m.
Cool. What's the website?
bcuk.uk. bcuk.uk, and it is all shapes and sizes. So if you're fit, great. If you're unfit and you struggle to walk upstairs, no problem. I will cater for all of your wonderful needs. Fun, friendly atmosphere. Sometimes I'll be a drill sergeant. Obviously, I have a martial arts and military background, so I'm good at now functional, fun exercises. I'm not going to train you to be a killer, but naturally, you're going to naturally have a few killer moves in there. You're not. I'm like I said. There's so many great moves in jiu-jitsu and wrestling and martial arts, which have great physical benefits. Almost yogic, Pilates style stuff. I've got my own workout, Alex Reid's GMP Firm Up. Ground and pound that fat away. Think Taibo, body combat meets Pilates. So we're going to bend and twist. We're going to hit stuff. We're going to lift stuff. We're going to run. We're going to do all sorts of fun and games. So please come and check it out. That's Tuesdays, Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. and Saturdays, 9:30 to 10:30 a.m.
Sweet.
bcuk.uk. Oh yeah.
Awesome, man. It was great chatting to you, Alex. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you again soon.
Yo, bro.
Awesome.
That is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you want to follow, find out more about Alex, then you can check out his Instagram, which is at Alex Reid Official, or you can follow him on Twitter, which I think where he mainly resides, which is at Alex Reid. As always, if you want to get in contact with the podcast, then you can email me at podcast@raspberryape.com. You can go to my website, which is raspberryape.com. You can follow my Instagram and Twitter, mainly Instagram though, which is at raspberry_ape. And I now also have a Instagram account purely for the podcast, where I'm going to be uploading a little bit more content specifically for the podcast. So if you like the podcast, you should definitely go and follow my podcast Instagram, which is at Raspberry Ape Podcast. That's about it, really. If you haven't subscribed already, then please subscribe. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and now on Spotify, which is excellent. You can also watch this or any other episode at youtube.com/raspberryape. And again, if you haven't already, go subscribe to that. That's about it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will catch you next time. Take it easy.